Time Studios, WBC FM and HD1.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Paisley Media Group Station.
Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Just a great win for the Red Sox last night. They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to snap a 7-7 tie. They beat Cleveland 11-7 at Fenway Park. Garrett Crochet allowed 7 runs in 6 innings, but the Sox came back behind a game-tying 2-run homer from Ceddanne Rafaela and a tie-breaking infield RBI single from Alex Bregman. Rafaela drove in 4 runs in all in the win. The Sox will pitch Brennan Bernardino as an opener against the Guardians tonight. The bad news is the Sox lost Roman Anthony last night. He left with a tight left oblique after striking out in the 4th inning. He'll undergo an MRI today. Patriots will be back at practice this afternoon after getting yesterday off. All eyes will be on whether or not Christian Gonzalez is able to practice. He's missed over 5 weeks with a hamstring problem. The season opener is Sunday at home against Las Vegas. Former Patriots wide receiver Kendrick Bourne met with San Francisco 2 days ago. He got a contract offer, didn't come to terms, and he went and met with the Washington Commanders yesterday. And the Bruins held their first captain's practice of the summer without a captain yesterday. David Pastrnak was there. He would seem to be the next guy in line for the job.
Guys like Berge and Z, it was always a group decision, and that's bringing me back to the first question when I said, it's going to be a group of leaders here, and our main focus is to bring the team together and be competitive every single night.
Charlie McAvoy was also among those present for the skate. The preseason, believe it or not, begins 2 weeks from Sunday. The regular season starts 5 weeks from today. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
New England plays here.
Ball down the right side, there's a separation. Touchdown pass. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? Don't Nick with your drinking at noon on Monday.
Well, I tell her the truth. I miss Booty.
That problem is too large for the Sarge.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back.
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Let's go.
The sands are falling down the hourglass.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy. I'm not even sure you can watch us on YouTube right now. Young Nicholas.
Oh, you can't.
Oh,
Ryan's taking care of business back here.
because young Nicholas had to be awakened this morning, which is very scary for the person who calls him because, he could be covered in his own feces and dead to the world and need to be flipping a bike in Nantucket. That's all that he did. He said he was going to go out to Nantucket, going to flip some bikes, do some sweet wheelies. So you can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. 617-779-0985. Nicholas isn't here, so everything is... My computer isn't open. The station is on the weird secondary broadcast, I guess, that Nesson does that I've never seen in my entire life. There is a lot going on that I don't like in this room. And I was 5 minutes late myself, not to the show. I was here, but the gout. I think
Is the gout acting up?
Not horribly, but when I fly, it does get it going. So I had to. I'm too lazy with the alpurinol. So today I had to dig around and find the alpurinol. And I'm at a situation when I'm up in the morning where there's very little time to waste.
Did you double down on the flight by eating some French fries?
And that also inflamed the gout.
I did have some of my kids' French fries at Chick-fil-A
Jesus,
at
Fred.
the Hartsfield Airport as we were there for 4 hours.
Oh, there you go.
Indeed. I forgot to tell you guys, and John, this might mean more to you than it does to Hardy, is that when I was at my parents' house, it was nice every day there, and my son said, "Dad, you should take the boat out."
Oh, baby. Did it happen finally?
He said, "You should take the boat out." And I went, "You know what? You're right." So I went up and got the boat key, and my dad was like, "I'm going to come on the boat." And I'm like, "All right, okay."
He couldn't let you go alone.
It was kind of smart he didn't. And so, because I hadn't driven it in so long. And so I'm like, it's pull back to go, if my understanding, because we're in the dock. Now, the dock has got 4 posts and 2, it's surrounded, and it's about the width of the boat. Like, there's not a lot of room for error. Like, it's like pulling into a very tight one-car garage. And you're surrounded with dock. It's not just poles. There's, places to stand and walk. There's like a shack, like storage area that's right in front of it. It's not easy.
Now, I'm not a boat guy, but on either side of the boat where it's docked, do you have those bumpers, those pillows, those cushy things?
There's a bumper there's 4 bumpers, but that only does you good. Like, if those are only for if you're like the water goes like pump, pump, pump. It doesn't save you when you're going in.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And so I went in, and I took the boat out, and I said, so to my right, because I was like, going back is forward and going forward is back, and my dad's like, yeah. So I go back, and of course that's not right. Yeah, so I go forward. So I go, all right, well, that wasn't good. So I go, they got that wrong. Going back is back. Going forward is forward. So I pull out. I never had any trouble pulling out. I pull out. I get on the sea. He's got 2. I don't know why they're on there. They're almost like fishing chairs, but they're these huge plastic chairs on poles that he has right at the front of the boat.
Nice.
Yeah. So you can't see. So, when you're driving a boat, the top of the boat goes up. Now I know you can work the tilt and things of that nature, and then I did. But but you're tilting up, so like you can't see. So I had to put the part up by the seat. Anyway, the lake's very crowded, not a problem for me. But I can tell my son's getting bored, and I can tell that it's time to bring it in.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to bring it in, and it's hard. It's really hard. And so I was like, for me, it's hard. So because you got to get it like perfectly set up, and then you got to be going like not above 3, but not below 3, because if you do, any shift at all in water will knock you off a little bit, and then you got to start over again. Yes, John.
I have a question. Is your father in your ear directing you on what to do while you're trying to park this thing?
Because I told you he had work, so he did not care about anything else that was going on. So this was good times. But he did say something, so I'm like, gentlemen, I got it, because like the water was still like it was like my 3rd try. The water was still, and I was pulling in, and my son said something as a joke of like, "Oh no, you don't have it." And my dad heard that and just started going like, "You don't have it. You don't have it. No, you don't have it."
Boy.
And then so I'm like, "Ugh." So I reverse it.
Yeah.
And do another loop, and now I can't get in it at all, because I've now 4 times, muddied the waters, like chopped the water all up. And so I'm sitting there thinking, I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm saying I'm never going to be able to do this. I think my father is just, he's satisfied because I'm struggling enough. So that's good for him.
Yeah, you have to some degree failed.
Right.
And that pleases him.
That's his happy place.
Yeah. So he's happy in that sense. And he's also happy that I haven't like taken like a run at it and then, screwed up. I've been really careful and patient with it, and wouldn't you know, 6th, 7th try,
40 minutes later,
yep, get that son of a bitch right there into the dock.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you're creating the chop with the back and forth, and you're making things worse in the water as the more you try, right?
Well, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I said, gentlemen, I have it, and it was like glassy at that point, and I was like just going to drift into the dock. I might have been a yard away. And my son was like, "Oh, you don't have it, Dad." And then my dad was like, No, you don't have it. And I'm like, because like it was one of those things where I didn't even have to turn the wheel. Like nature was taking us in. And once you're in, the worst thing that can happen is that you're going to like bump something, and then you just got to put it in reverse, and that just like kind of stops the boat.
Yeah.
It doesn't lurch it. It just goes like,
Yeah.
And so like once your front of the boat is in, unless you ram which people around him have done, people have rammed it through their dock plenty of times. But unless you do something very stupid, you could pretty much just turn the boat off, and it would just drift in. You might knock the front. It's not ideal, but you're not going to damage the dock, basically. And then of course he said something, and it took everything in me not to go like, you a-hole, I had it. and now you're doing this to me. But I'll tell you, it might be the first time I couldn't tell you how long I was able to focus on one thing. I wasn't thinking of anything else. For that 2.5 hours it took me to get that boat in there. I was not thinking of anything else. That's like Hardy with every task. He's able to hyper focus, whether it's power washing or whatever the hell else he does.
Yeah, which by the way, you see that huge burn I have on my arm right there?
Yeah, I was surprised it's not.
Oh yeah,
it's like
nasty. Yeah,
that is a power washing burn. Now I didn't get myself with the power washer. You understand? What I did do was Fred, know thyself, know your limitations, know what you're capable of and incapable of. And I had mower issue. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this thing in, and I am going to get it, professionally serviced. And before I brought it in, I can't take him a dirty mower. I got to make sure it's cleaned up a little bit.
Otherwise, the guy behind the counter might think ill of you.
Well,
we don't
it's
want
like
that.
this guy doesn't even take care of his own machine.
Yeah,
we
don't want that
now
to
I'm
happen.
supposed to treat it with TLC.
Understood.
Can I just say something that that ASMR guy that you're so fond of making fun of,
the
relaxing
ink guy?
ASMR.
Yeah.
He's got a whole video cleaning his lawnmower.
You may be glad that you did.
So
he's got one where he cleans his lawnmower. He's a jack of all trades.
Okay, I like that. But I got the mower back and did the first cut with him. Like, this is good. Everything's working good. But now I'm going to keep it clean. I am going to really, I'm not going to allow the grass to accumulate underneath, because it kind of like cakes up and builds in there. And if it gets bad enough, then the blades are actually impeded a little bit. And you're like, hey, come on, let's do this right. So on the last week, I get done cutting. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to power wash the underside of this sumbitch. I just, did it like, a chip away cleaning and kind of wiped it down. I'm really going to wash this thing. And I got all done, and I had the gas power washer going, and I bent down to turn the power washer off and got the side of my arm on the housing there. And, ooh, man, did I burn it. And I've been, my other favorite thing is home surgeries. So I've been just kind of picking away at this. Put the reading glasses on, hold it up to the magnifying mirror, that my wife has in the bathroom. And I really take a look at that thing. It blistered up. It was swollen. It's not looking very good, is it?
So you were trying to insert it into yourself?
That's right. Yes, I was trying to insert it into myself.
Okay.
The power washer.
That's when it slipped.
That's right. Right.
Because I don't know how you burned yourself on the power washer. You were sitting on it?
Yes. As I was trying to insert part of the housing into myself.
Yeah, because you said it's been hard for you since break to go to the bathroom.
That's right. So I braced myself with my forearm and on the hot engine, and that's how I burned myself. That's correct.
Well, I mean, at least that's a Ziggy, I think.
How would that panel look exactly?
Well, it would be one panel.
Maybe it's just
Or he'd be like, he'd have a power washer up his butt, and he would be at the complaints department.
I keep burning myself.
Or he'd just be the psychiatrist. I keep burning myself. And that's just the whole Ziggy. And then the doctor just has a look of question marks. And the Grim Reaper's in the corner.
Or it's at the complaint department. Hardy's stealing my mishaps. The New Yorker is stealing my car.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad things worked out for you in the boat, Fred. Do you find yourself? You said Milo got bored after a while. Do you find yourself after a while out on a boat? And this is maybe the chief reason why I'm not a boat guy is the whole purpose of just going out and being on the water in a boat is not enough for me.
Yeah, I'm completely that way. And one thing I've been having fun showing my kids is I told you that Lake Tennessee is a lake that's been around forever. It was dammed up, and then like 100 or some odd years ago, they opened up the dams and they created this Lake Tellico. Lake Tellico goes to the Tennessee River. You can take the Tennessee River into different locks and go out to the Atlantic Ocean. So you can go spend. So in couples they'll buy a boat and they'll go with this dream of being these nautical pioneers that go up into Canada. They usually go up into Canada. It's in the summer. I guess it's easier to do. So you'll see these on the lake. Most people have speed boats or pontoon boats or something like that, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of boats, not out at the same time, but docked up. And you'll go and we'll be on the jet ski, and I'll go, and so one of my kids will go, look at that, that's a huge boat. And I'll go, yeah, but look. And then we'll pull up next to it, and I'll go, look at that bedroom. And they're like, that's the bedroom? And I'm like, yeah, you can't stand up in it. It's just half a bed. And so this boat is probably, I don't know, $600,000. And it's great, but it's too much for this lake. And then you're going to spend a month on it, 2 months on it, 2 months in a 100 square foot bedroom.
Yeah, you have to, and you have to do that to justify the price that you've spent on this.
And then I've told you guys this before, and this is old information. I don't know if it's been updated, but my parents, when they were, they've lived there for 20 years, so they moved there when they were in their early 60s. They, John's age, they had 4 couples that bought yachts, in quotations. Yacht doesn't mean you can land a helicopter on it, but it's boats with a kitchen and a bedroom. 3 of the 4 couples that went on that trip came back and got divorced, and it's because it sucks. Because just because you want to pull into a docking area, if you map out, because you map out your trip. Just because you want to pull into a docking area and they even give you permission beforehand doesn't mean you're gonna. And one of the reasons it means that you're not gonna is that the weather's not good. So they're not gonna let you pull your boat into a dock, a private dock with a bunch of other boats if it's the sea is angry. So these people, you're stuck on this boat that seemed huge when you bought it. And you're stuck right outside this thing. And then you got to go through those locks, which are shallow water. You got to basically turn the motor off and drift through. There's commercial ships, with, tanker ships going by you. It's just, it sounds it sounds glamorous and romantic, but it turns out to be awful. Awful. Now, if you have a staff of people in a huge ass boat with with a living room and all that, even then you hit water, you're still getting tossed around. But yeah, anything that anyone who's not worth hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even more, can buy is I would not suggest going on a long trip in it.
So the calculus for those big boats too, I think it's 20% of the purchase cost is what it takes just to keep that thing floating every year. So if you buy yourself a $10 million boat, between the fuel and the docking and the maintenance and all that stuff, but you're going to spend an additional if you pay cash for it, you're still in for $2 million every year just to keep that thing and use it. No, thank you. I've never had the inclination for a boat.
And they're good.
Not that it would be $10 million, but even a $10,000 boat. I'm like, no.
I mean, they're good to pull kids, and my kids are kind of not into that anymore. But a jet ski is 1,000 times easier to pull kids on. So, I mean, a jet ski is just so much easier than a boat. Plus, they're badass. You know?
Yeah.
You're a real bad boy.
Cool. They're cool.
Yeah, you're a real bad boy. You know,
I like the old school ones where you literally stood up on that sumbitch.
Those were pretty easy to ride around.
Yeah, like you see it in Jaws 3, and Dennis Quaid coked to the gills during the filming of that movie. He says he doesn't even remember making it, but there's a couple of scenes where he's got to hop on one of them jet skis to get around the water adventure theme park there, and he stands right up on that sumbitch. He's like, it's a ski, so I'm going to ski on this bad boy and get around. Go from the dolphins over to the place where the shark ain't supposed to get in, but spoiler alert, it gets in.
Was all of Jaws 3 at SeaWorld? I seem to remember some of that.
It's a SeaWorld type of place. I don't know if they actually call it SeaWorld. I know Lou Gossett Jr. is there.
I know Mario Van Peebles had a role in that as well, if I remember correctly.
No, that's Jaws 4.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
Jaws the Revenge, dummy.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I was talking to a kid, the guy that was best man at my wedding yesterday, and we were talking about how we weren't on Facebook anymore, and the great Ryan Meredith, whose profile picture was him just close up, shades on a jet ski, like.
Yeah.
I might be married with kids and be an audiologist, but they can't contain me.
Yeah. What are you rebelling against? What do you got?
Yeah. My guidance counselor, Jack. He said I never could afford one of these machines.
He said I was going to be an anesthesiologist.
Yeah, he never said I'd have a Cass Lake jet ski. You know, that's $100 docking fee every summer. All right, we will catch up with what happened last night. I wish the Red Sox game wasn't on. I don't know why they do this one version of it where there's 4 people talking. I can't imagine it's successful, but it's there. It's just let's watch the game.
Well, it's there because Nick didn't come in here and change your TV channels for you because he just got here.
But I like the idea of let's watch the game smaller.
Yeah.
Well, you have the score and the ball strikes and outs right along the lower part of the screen there.
And also, I don't have my own thoughts on the game, so I need other people's thoughts.
Or just it's not enough to just have the guy calling the game and the ex-player being the analyst. I need 4 people yucking it up. Well, no offense to any of them. I'm sure they do a great job. It's just I would never, ever in a million. Look at that.
I don't watch
an ad on the side, an ad on the bottom, them on the side, and then the entire scoreboard on the bottom. The game is literally a fifth of the screen.
I don't watch the Manning cast either. I
don't watch them. But at least I understood why they did that. They're famous, and and it did well the first time. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More.
Did you catch the game last night?
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by What Happened Last Night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Just saw a video of Bill Belichick, who was blown out in his college coaching debut before the game. They say it's during the game, but it's not. Before the game, Jordan comes down to him. She's with some other girl. And I can't tell what they're saying, but I can just tell it's good she's down there.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, you can leave now.
Regardless of the
Who
message,
knows?
better for her to be on the field than not.
Yeah. I mean, and look, I know that friends and family are allowed on the field before games, but, she, again, wore her North Carolina pants. And it's getting a little grosser, to be honest with you. Not him.
They bringing a loser to another loser town.
Like, it's not like I'm seeing this and getting aroused. It's gotten to a point where it's like, it's kind of grossing me out, and not on his end. It's just a girl just hanging around like that. It would be the most unattractive thing in the world. Just hanging around.
All dolled up in your little dressy thing.
Like a girl you're dating, just like hanging around.
Yeah, playing dress up, parading around, doing the thing for the.
Like
Just
every
leave.
time you do this, it makes you
Leave.
uglier.
Yeah.
Like can't you just a little mystery, like a little song and dance here? You got to be on the field now. And I understand, and it's one thing if like you're married, but if you're like dating, get the hell away from me. Like, at least let me do my job without you around.
Well,
But
she's on the team, It's all part of Trouble Cup Productions, Fred.
this has got so many things in it that I personally, which is all that matters, would drive me insane. That I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. Well, I do really like that he got blown out.
Oh God,
I mean, that's the best.
And were you watching from the beginning?
Yeah. I did watch from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
So the joy that I felt when it wasn't 10-7, I think it was 17-7 when I started to feel real joy, more than outweighed the bitterness I felt when they marched down the field and scored that first touchdown, because I felt bad. I did not like that. No. I did not care for that at all.
See, but I felt good. The second TCU stuffed them on their next two possessions, and they got -3, -8 yards on those two possessions. All right, things are back in balance now.
It's funny because I thought scripted plays at home in front of this unreal audience, the quarterback's hitting himself in the head. I'm like, I thought, you know what I thought? Honestly, you can ask my son. He was sitting next to me. I'm like, they're going to get killed. I'm like, North Carolina's going to get killed. Like, they're far too up for this. Like, they're like losing their minds. Like you got to, and sure enough, what did that quarterback, like, he was like 0 for the next 25 minutes or
2
something?
hours.
Like, yeah,
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours between completed passes.
Yeah. So,
There's nowhere to go on that wave if you get yourself that high after the first drive of the game. Like, you can't sustain that.
Well, let's review how they went down the field, because this was more exciting than anything else. Is that he had the nice pass downfield, like a 30-yard pass, but other than that, they were like untouched runs, like
read option stuff. Nothing. Ultimately, there was no double reverses. There was nothing complicated.
But also, it was like, yeah, TCU was probably tight, and like, they're kids. It's the first game of the season. I'd watched enough over the weekend. Usually defenses are stronger, but I mean, I have seen, the TCU's tight. The second defensive possession, like you said, John, they couldn't move. They couldn't
cross
gain
the
yards.
line of
They
scrimmage.
couldn't.
Yes.
Right. They couldn't. They had no yard to gain. So at that point, yeah. Then I really knew it was over. But I told my son, he's like, "Oh wow," and I'm like, nah. I'm like, this. I go. He didn't care about the game, but I kept nudging him. I'm like, look at this moron hitting himself in the head. This fat kid hitting himself in the head.
The most satisfying part of the game was the first play of the second half. You know, Belichick, the master, halftime adjustments. This is what we did wrong. This is what we need to go through. You know, the 6-time Super Bowl winner, best coach on the planet, 75-yard touchdown run. Game over.
Untouched.
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 That was if I had to pick one play, that was the one I enjoyed the most.
It was funny because a lot of people, in fairness, had been killing him, and people I didn't expect. Like, I even put on like the college football station to hear, and Jimbo Fisher was doing something, and he was kind of lighting him up a little bit, like in a nice ex-coach way, like. You know, hell, after you do a couple drives, can't do nothing. Just go back to the first drive. Like, he's just saying stuff like that. Like, and but one of the guys is like, he goes, the host of the show, who I think is ex-player, he's like, well, it's hard enough to get to know 20 new guys, let alone 70 new guys. And he's like, he's the one who brought them in. He's like, these aren't 18-year-old kids. These are, these are transfers. These are veteran college football players. I mean, these guys have played in big environments before. I mean, what's the average age of the kids on this team? Like, I mean, he makes a good point. Yeah, you're the one who brought 70 kids in, but these aren't 70, 18-year-olds.
Right.
These are kids that played at other big programs that you poached. You should have no problem. And by the way, TCU, they might. I know they have more returning players and everything, but they're in the same situation you are. They're rotating, and this is their first game too.
Every team in the country has a sizable changeover from last year. If you are any kind of competitive FBS
and I
school.
get that TCU's was way, way smaller than North Carolina's. I'm not saying that. But it's not like they're playing a different game under different rules. And they're also Texas Christian University, which, while it is a pretty good football school, it's not a blue blood football school.
In Bill's defense, though, he didn't go out there and pick all those guys himself. Lombardi went rogue.
Yes.
Lombardi went rogue and picked a lot of those guys without any input.
He's
from
got
anyone.
a mess of championship rings.
Actually, much to the disgust of some of the coaches.
And Hardy's not lying.
No, the Steve Belichick.
He's not being sarcastic.
Not happy with some of the defensive players.
Yeah, the story we heard, and it's just one kid, but like a kid showed up and Steve Belichick was like, "What's going on?" And Lombardi's like, "I gave him an offer," and Steve Belichick's like, "Why? What? Like, we never agreed on this." Now this is all third party, but
I like it.
Does it sound wrong?
It. No, I totally believe it.
Boy, they were making Lombardi sound like a genius before that game too. He's got Lombardi, who's got all these Super Bowls, huh?
Yeah.
And
how much schmoozing did he do with those guys before the game started? That's what I want to know.
I wonder what
why else would you even mention him?
Mac Brown was the coach last year, right? And he never lost a game by that much. I don't believe he ever lost a game by that much for North Carolina.
No, they were mediocre, but he never got embarrassed.
Like I think I heard several times that they never lost a game by that much. How much of this is Bill Belichick going, well, I was put in a situation where they didn't have any players. We'll see how many games you win. They were bowl eligible last year. We'll see how many games you win. And by the way, your schedule sucks.
Yeah.
It's easy. So, you play Clemson and SMU. Good. That's the two teams you play. Go ahead.
Did you see the one parting stat from last night? The kid who finished the game at quarterback, his name is Max Johnson, came back from a major injury. Did you see why he's so interesting? Max Johnson is the same age.
Oh, sorry.
Same age as Bill Belichick's girlfriend. His backup quarterback is the same age.
Oh, you guys heard what Bill did, too, before the game, right? Did we talk about this on the air?
I don't know.
So, Pete Thamel was at the game, and before the game for college, there's pro scouts there, and I guess TCU had a bunch of kids that were being scouted, and that North Carolina had two. They're two corners. And what schools do is they will put out a roster with numbers and position.
Oh, I did see this.
And give them to the NFL scouts. Hardy, this is true.
Okay.
He did this. So you give it to the pro scouts, and then, so they can follow along. Belichick gave them an empty roster before the game.
His two deep was blank.
No numbers, no names,
just
nothing.
Just positions and nothing next to him.
Yeah, just positions. And so if I'm Florida State or BC and I'm recruiting a kid, like I'm just thinking of ACC schools, and I'm recruiting a kid, I'm like, he's actively trying to make you not a pro. Like, he's being deliberately difficult with scouts. And, it doesn't matter. Well, yeah, it does. If it comes down to the 7th round or after the draft and you're not drafted and your coach has been dicking around with one of the teams, who do you think he's going to take? I mean, there's not this massive talent discrepancy once you get past the first few rounds. Like, every little bit helps. In every little angle that you can get that's positive helps. I mean, what a dick. Like, why would you even do that? And by the way, that's true. That's not made up. He did it.
No, that's left over from his NFL days where he's like, I'm not showing it. It might give the other team an edge. If
What,
they
your
figure it
roster?
out. I don't know. Hey, that's the only reason I can come up with as to why he would do that.
I think he did it to be a dick, like just to be a dick, like just to be a dick to the media or the college scouts. He just did it because he could. And that's another example of him being dumb. It's not even clever or funny. It doesn't have any, it doesn't stick it to anyone. All it does is screw your kids and make you look like an a-hole. Like, there's no joke to it. Like, if he put, the cast of Blazing Saddles as, his roster, at least, there's a thought there. Not particularly funny, but, and at least you would go this crazy son of a bitch put the cast of Blazing Saddles on.
Hedley Lamar.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
right?
a team did that. A college team did that. All of George Clooney's characters.
Okay,
that he's played in his career. They listed them as 2D.
So all right. So there you go. There's an idea that you're doing something. Just blank is just what's the punchline?
Very quickly, because I know we're up against it here. That's the most points allowed in a season opener in program history. They allowed 41 in 2001 against Oklahoma.
Oh, a little different there.
Lost by their greatest margin since 2018, which was against Miami. And Mac Brown never lost a game by that margin in his second stint at North Carolina. Now, Mac Brown did about a year ago get beat 70-50 by James Madison, and that was kind of when Mac Brown knew his time there was.
Well, Mac Brown's second time around wasn't good, but I mean, and James Madison's a bad school, but they put up 50. All right. I mean, obviously something was going on during that game where they stopped playing defense on both sides. All right. We'll be back. We'll get to the Red Sox in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to snap a 7-7 tie. They outlasted Cleveland 11-7 at Fenway Park. Don Raphael, a homer, 4 RBIs. Sox go for a 3-game sweep tonight. Brennan Bernardino will start as an opener. Dustin May is available out of the bullpen. The bad news is Roman Anthony left in the 4th inning last night with a tight left oblique. He will need an MRI today. Patriots will practice this afternoon. They open up the season Sunday in Foxborough against Las Vegas. Christian Gonzalez missed Monday's workout. He hasn't practiced in over 5 weeks. And Novak Djokovic beat top American Taylor Fritz in 4 sets to reach the semifinals of the U.S. Open tennis tournament. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lopresti and Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Hardy, Tom Karen, and Tommy Curran. Call 1-800-GET-HAIR for your free consultation. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
If your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what happened last night? We got so wrapped up in what happened Monday night, we couldn't tell the people.
Well, Red Sox and Guardians played again last night. Sox out to their early lead.
That one drilled. Nice shot. He jumped on that one. Back toward the bullpen. And that's gone. Over the bullpen. 5-1 Sox. Nathaniel Lowe going downtown.
I thought you would have a going downtown comment there, Fred, apparently.
Well, I do. You want to play it again? I can do it for you.
Only if you have one.
Oh, I got one.
I don't want to force you into anything you don't want to do.
No. Go ahead.
Okay.
5-1 Sox. Nathaniel Lowe going downtown.
He's going to be upset when he finds out they got rid of the peep shows.
Okay. For the Red Sox, the 5-1 lead.
1 quarter.
See
the naked lady. Before porn was on VHS. The only way to see it. Downtown.
Did you ever go into a peep show like at an adult store late at night, like a Little Darlings where the bookstore and gift shop attached to it?
I was never old. I think that all that stuff was gone by the time I was even like in a car.
I think there was one in Albuquerque that we went into once, and to say it, the only way to describe that place was tragic. It was a.
There's under no way, shape, or form could that have been good.
No.
So this happened. I took a girl that I was dating in college that I really liked, but we'd been together for a long time. So it was before you could just get porn, right? Internet. So we went into a porn shop, and I started looking at these videos, and the guy goes, "Yeah, you like big boobs, huh?" No. And I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh boy.
He's like, "Yeah." He was like tracking what I was looking at. "Yeah, you like big boobs, huh?"
Yeah, that's great.
I'm like, "Yeah, thanks."
Things did not go well in the 6th inning, though, for Garrett Crochet, who got absolutely shelled. Now, I did not see the 6th inning myself, John. How many home runs
he gave up
Garrett Crochet?
3, including one to a guy that was hitting 154, Hedges, the catcher. And none of them were cheap either. All of them were bombs.
Oh, baby. High in the air. Deep. Get out of here. Holy mackerel. Brian Rocchio with a 2-out, 3-run colossal home run. Their 3rd homer of the inning. And just like that, the Guardians have flipped the script and taken the lead.
That must be kosher.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Holy mackerel?
I'm not giving it to you.
Oh, come on. You got to give it to him.
I'm not.
Come on.
Keeping it kosher. Holy mackerel.
Thank you.
Blessed by a rabbi.
7-5 Cleveland makes it after the 6th inning after the Sox blew the 5-1 lead.
Add 2 to that, and you got yourself a dead-end job.
Crochet, 6 innings, 7 runs, 9 hits, career high. Gave up 4 homers.
Yeah, I would be
bad outing.
Considering how many innings he's pitched this year and how much it's been, how high over his career high it is, it sends off warning bells here.
Yeah,
you don't see this happen to this guy.
We've had this conversation a couple times based on performance, not just what ifs.
Right.
Like, he's not as good as he was in the middle of the year. He's just not. So
he's not striking guys out. I mean, he's not. The velocity is still there. He's still in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
But he's not striking guys out like he was at the beginning of the season. That's to be expected. And by the way, his command completely disappeared in the 6th inning. All those homers he gave up, they weren't on balls that were like on the outside corner of the plate. They were right over the heart of the plate. And that's what happens when you get tired. Your command goes.
Yeah, and to keep up that kind of velocity, you have to sacrifice a little bit of. There's less movement, and you have to sacrifice.
It's to be expected.
Yes.
I mean, the Red Sox rolled the dice here. This is the back end of it. I don't know how effective he's going to be in a month after 5 more starts, but
I don't even know how effective he would be in a month because just of what I've been hearing about stuff, like not about Crochet, I don't know how effective he'd be in a month. Just if you didn't pitch him,
I was
going to
say if you were able to rest him,
because you still got to throw, because if you're not throwing, then you really can't pitch,
right?
And so I'm not sure. Like I'm not just saying this. Like I'm not positive. Like the best way to do it. It's certainly not having him go long in games for a long time, but it's also not shutting him down. So I'm not positive what you do.
The Red Sox had been massaging him, giving him extra days off, all that stuff. And you have 4 off days between now and the end of the season, I think, which is good. But the Red Sox don't have a full rotation right now. You know, you got rid of Walker Buehler. You really didn't replace him. Dustin May, who was supposed to start today, isn't starting today. They have him available out of the bullpen. They're using an opener rather than having this guy start. I mean, the back end of the rotation is a mess. So you can't massage Crochet's innings and days off because you need him to possibly get yourself home field in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is the problem here. The Red Sox are playing really well, but there are problems here.
Yeah, they've been great, and just Crochet in the pitching would bother me. Because you're making the playoffs, so
yes, it's Texas. By the way, you see they're making a run at the back end there. They might actually snag a wild card over Seattle the way they're playing.
Yeah, and so Seattle went all in for no reason. But the thing is that you're making the playoffs, so that's great. And no, it's great. I'm not being sarcastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you could even win the division now. It would be really something, but. I am concerned if you in a playoff series you're pitching that because against good teams with top end starters you're not going to put up 11 runs in a game. It's just not going to happen. And these guys all have deep bullpens. I mean, just look at who you play in the American League.
Red Sox have said it for how many months? They're playing so far and beyond the sum of their parts at this point.
Right.
Give Alex Cora all the credit in the world. They shouldn't be where they are, but they are.
They're
manager. Right there, yeah.
He's a great manager.
Well, you may not put up runs in the traditional way, but maybe a guy like Rafaela will come on and help you at least regain a portion of the lead.
Swing on a high drive, way into the night, and she is way out of here. That's a quick answer, and just like that, we're back.
All right, that made it 7-7, and then
way into the night, leaving me behind. Tears of sorrow fall on my cheeks.
Alex Bregman doing his best Jake Taylor impersonation, legging out a gutsy RBI single in the 8th.
He can't
run. 1-0 from Smith. Ground ball behind third. Tough play, Ramirez. He throws and safe as the run scores. The Red Sox have the lead 8-7.
Alex Bregman is not a quick man, and he had that quad problem he missed all that time with. He still can't run at full speed for him. So that's a good major league reference.
Reaching back, grabbing the hammy when he crossed first base.
It was Jake Taylor. All he had to do was fall down, and it would have been exactly the same. But I swear to God, if I was in the crowd, run! That I would have been screaming, run! And he barely beat the throw. So good for him.
That bottom 8, though, was absolutely silly. After Bregman reached on the single there, Duran doubled to right. Trevor Story also doubled, scoring Bregman and Duran. 11-7 your final.
Good news, too, because you wanted Aroldis Chapman was warming up when it was 8-7. He would have had to pitch again.
Right.
You got the 4 runs. You didn't have to pitch him. That's good news.
Sit down, big fella. We don't need you.
The bad news is Roman Anthony. That's the bad news.
So an oblique strain forced him out of the game. How bad that really is, if they're being careful with him, I don't know, but it's not good.
Don't be so negative.
I mean,
you're saying, it's bleak. I think that's the second time I've done that joke. The first one, it landed just as nice. I just remember the first time I told that joke.
When was that?
I don't know. But I just
hold on. I got my joke journal. I'll tell you when.
Was it recently?
My son farted in the car when my dad was in the car, and he said, it boomeranged around into the window. and my son like laughed. My dad told that joke out of the car in the lake, like walking into dinner.
Mm-hmm.
He got one laugh out of my son, and he just hammered that joke
Right.
out of context wherever you go. I made the boy laugh. Repeating it a lot is gonna keep that thing
He was
going.
Bart Simpson. I didn't do it.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
All right, so we'll be back in just a moment. There is something going on that needs a little bit of explanation because it seems right up John's alley and right up Eddie Trunk's alley. It's or no pun intended.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back in just a moment.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox ace Garrett Crochet allowed 7 runs in 6 innings last night, and the Red Sox still won. They got 4 runs on the bottom of the 7th inning to snap a 7-7 tie. They beat Cleveland 11-7 at Fenway Park. Ceddanne Rafaela hit a game-tying 2-run homer in the bottom of the 6th. He drove in 4 runs and all to lead the offense. Brendan Bernardino, the guy who finished the game last night, will be used as an opener for the finale of this 3-game series this evening. Roman Anthony, though, has other problems. He left after striking out in the 4th inning with what the team called left oblique tightness. He said he was pretty sore after the game.
Yeah, no, I've been feeling great and just took a check swing and felt it there and knew something wasn't right.
He'll undergo an MRI today. Patriots will practice this afternoon. They open up their season Sunday in Foxborough against Las Vegas. Christian Gonzalez missed Monday's workout. He hasn't practiced for over 5 weeks since hurting a hamstring. Former Patriots wideout Kendrick Bourne met with the San Francisco 49ers 2 days ago. He got a contract offer, didn't come to terms, so he met with the Washington Commanders yesterday. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic through to the men's semifinals after beating the only American left in the draw, Taylor Fritz, in 4 sets last night. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the crispy fried twin catch with North Atlantic cod and crispy shrimp. Available every Monday through Wednesday for just $14.99. You gotta love the 9s. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
And now, back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Discovering the flyer.
All right, so this is a flyer that is taped to a pole. I would guess it's in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And here's what the gentleman says.
Is anyone planning on going to this ass night on Wednesday? Because hit me up. We can go together.
All right, so what this gentleman is referring to is that ass night.
Do you have the flyer there?
I do. Okay, I have it right in front of me. It says ass night, Wednesday, 9/3/25, which is today, the Middle East Corner, Cambridge, Mass, at 7:30. Bring your gigantic ass and positive attitude and be ready for fun and friendship and whimsy. MILFs and GILFs welcome. Students get in free. But that's not all. If you go to the the middle left of it in small print, it says featuring a drum clinic with Peter Criss from Kiss. So that's going on as well. So the question is, this is something obviously if on the level. Now, this is really a flyer on a pole. This is how, people of our age got information about upcoming shows. Flyering is what it was called.
Lost Cats.
Yes. And still Lost Class. Guitar lessons, many, many strips of paper. And so what would happen is if this is ass night and it's tonight in Cambridge, who would enjoy ass night? And who would be among his people if GILFs were invited?
It's John Wallach.
Yeah. All right, so I need Nicholas to come in here if he would. So if you could get his music.
That song, they have to play that tonight. There's no way not to play that.
No, not that song. You need to play the trombone. Every time trombone.
I'm John Wallach on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
No, that's John.
No.
Every time Nick is coming into the room, we need to have the trombone. He was already in the room when he started, and it's still hard for him to get that butt in the seat.
Watch how fast that seat goes down when he operates that hydraulic. Watch this.
Here we go.
Boom.
All right. So as much as John would enjoy being there, other people might enjoy if Nick was there, because Nick, of course, is very bottom heavy. And Nick, have you done some research into what's going on tonight?
Yeah, I did. I went over to the Middle East website, and I was looking for this flyer, this the information for this event, and I couldn't find it, but I saw something else. It was for tonight, same time as the flyer, but it's for like a comedy show.
Oh, come on. Oh.
I'm not happy about it.
No.
And that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
It's not real. It's not real.
What are we going to do for the next 10 minutes? I mean, that's it. That's it.
Maybe you should have told me beforehand, as opposed to the idea was, well, we'll just pepper Nick with questions until we get to the bottom of it. We got to the bottom of it, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not real.
It's not real.
Okay. Well, then,
sucks.
Bye.
Should I waddle out here?
Yeah, it's good to send. Maybe I should have gotten here in time. Not really positive what we're supposed to do with that. So there's this flyer up, and it's this thing at the Middle East. Well, it's not happening. Okay.
Oh.
Well,
Maybe we can spend the next 10 minutes asking Adam 12 and Nick how we thought we were supposed to fill 18 with that.
Did you want to explore like who the person is that was behind this whole flyer and get into a little bit of that creativity?
Unless
we
it's
have that for you as well.
Unless it's Road Steamer.
No, that would be much more entertaining.
That would be a Robbie thing, no?
Than what this is.
And I sent it to John Worster too. Now I feel like a fool because I thought he might put it up on his Instagram page. Now I feel like a fool. So it's just some stand-up show?
Yeah, looks like it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to do. I mean, there's not much. There's not much to do.
You want to play a clip from the guy behind it? It's in your system.
All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. This better be bad.
The comedy stylings of the guy behind Ass Night.
Yeah, so it's the actual show, the real show flyer, I'm guessing, because this is what I'm looking at on the Middle East website, it's Dick at Night, which if you look closely at that other flyer, it does really in small say presented by Dick at Night. So this has got to be him. So Dick at Night, every first Wednesday of the month at the Middle East corner. So not the Middle East upstairs or downstairs, but the corner, the little spot in the middle there for a Wednesday night comedy show, the Corner Bakery. So this is and Nick and Ryan have been going around to try to find some of this guy's comedy styles, and apparently Ryan, did you say he posted this just yesterday? So a new song that a comedy song that he's put together, so you can enjoy this.
All right, so here's the guy that got us all worked up about Ass Night, but it's really just a stand-up comic, and worse than that, he plays a guitar.
Oh, good.
So here we go.
Leave peeping with my baby. She's driving me crazy. She's my baby. I'm her honey. She's my little cutie. We've peeping babies. We're always out here. Leave peeping.
Somewhere there's a alternative comedy scene, jumping up and down and going crazy.
I was going to say the guy who runs the Catatonic Youth's Instagram needs to get wise to this.
But this seems like it's deliberately bad, right? Is he a comedian or a musician?
It's tough to tell.
What is the Middle East corner?
It's literally what it says. Like, have you been to the Middle East upstairs?
Yes.
So there's a couple of different entrances that you can take, right?
Right.
If you go to the Middle East upstairs, there's the restaurant area that you walk through to get to the door to the venue. Then next door to that is the kind of bar, small restaurant that's above the Middle East downstairs. That's where this kind of corner bakery situation is. And it's a very, very small stage that's kind of smushed up against the front of the window there.
Now, if you're at another place in the Middle East, are you subjected to what's going on in the corner?
If you were to decide tonight, you know what, I'm going to grab a late meal.
I'm going to go get some hummus.
Yeah, I get some hummus and pita and
that's like eating at a strip club, right?
Yeah, and now all of a sudden you've got Dick at Night, and it's not Ass Night. And I have to say, Nick pointed this out because he's running the cameras. John does look very disappointed. that this is not a real thing.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just have ass night? If you were the comedian, why wouldn't you just have ass night?
It would be a much bigger draw, right? Like if you actually followed through and promoted that as it was.
It'd be a huge draw. There'd be a lot of people there.
And what if you got Peter Criss, which is kind of like a funny twist on it? John is upset. Why wouldn't you just have ass night instead of saying it's going to be ass night, and then it just turns out to be you, the alternative comedian? Man. It could have been. You could have had something. UCB, did they put out when they were in New York and coming up? Did they put out ass night flyers? Did Groundlings put up ass night flyers? Did Second City put up ass night flyers? If you were going to put ass night out there, it was ass night. I mean, even those Second City guys had the big butt scene. You remember it? Not particularly funny sketch on Saturday Night Live, but it was. They had big butts and they were knocking things over with them. But I'm a little disappointed.
I'm a lot disappointed.
Very disappointed.
I mean, the song wasn't funny. I don't like the flyer anymore. There's no butts going in there.
Is there anything else from that guy?
What's this guy gonna do when he when I mean, these flyers are out and about in the city. I mean, they made it onto our radar. A lot of people saw them. A lot of people posted about them, and it does say bring your gigantic ass and a positive attitude. So what happens if a couple of big asses do show up tonight? Is he going to be quick enough and quick-witted enough to be able to pivot and do something with that, or does he have?
I'm going to guess the answer is no.
Yeah. These are all questions that I don't care about the answer. I if whatever you had planned for tonight goes horribly wrong, I don't care either way. It doesn't make me happy. It doesn't make me sad.
Yeah. This is a big dud.
Oh,
it's not good. I mean, it's just there's nothing to it. I mean, there's not much that we got. I thought that it was going to be. I thought something was going on, but in fairness, I wasn't here for the beginning of the meeting. So there you go. I apologize to everyone. I thought we were going to have a big ass night thing. I thought Nick was going to go out to ass night. I thought it was going to be a huge party. I thought that we could report back to John, and John might even go out. I thought we'd meet a ass guy character, like the famous porn director Seymour Butts. I thought we could get. My mind marveled at all we could get, but it's just like an alternative comedian.
I wouldn't care about meeting Seymour Butts, but I would like to meet Alicia Class, just to see how she's doing.
Oh yeah,
days.
Was she number one or number two?
I think she was married to Seymour Butts.
Oh, she was.
Shane was married to Seymour Butts.
You don't think he got divorced and married someone else, do you?
The only reason
that's why I said number one and number two.
You know, the only reason I know Seymour Butts is because of that show that was on cable called Family Business, and it was like a real show, and it was Seymour Butts and his mom and his uncle and Shane ran, who's a woman, ran his little organization.
Yeah.
And and so that they had a show called Family Business. I believe it was on Cinemax. It wasn't dirty. It was almost like the Osbournes. Remember when the Osbournes came out and then they just started everything? And then there was another show about a porn star, and she lived with her son, and her son was in high school. They should have never made it. And the kid was none too happy about his mom being a porn star, as you can imagine. And it was just super depressing. Oh, I got to find what that one was now, too.
I didn't see that one.
That's the break we should have done. Then I would have. Then we could have explored that, because Family Business was kind of well done. The other porn star one, I think, was on VH1, and it was a porn star reality show. And I can't remember who the woman was. She was older. She was kind of, and she had a kid that was in high school, a son. He was a gothy kid, kind of kid, as you could imagine. He had some problems growing up. He didn't like it. And she went on a date with this one big porn star guy, and she was taking forever to get ready. I'll have to investigate it.
Seymour Butts, now 61 years old, has also performed under the names Bubba Brando and Bubba Butts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TT Boy was in a couple of those videos.
Oh, was he?
I could wrangle him.
Is Alicia still with us?
Alicia.
She is. She's 53 years old.
Oh.
You know who Shane married and did an episode of Cribs with? The one of the guys from the band Orgy. She had a tub birth at home.
What?
That was in the episode of Cribs. I swear to God, that was Shane's episode of Cribs. These are a lot of things that everyone can look up. All right. In the future, if there is a flyer for an event that's not happening, it's quite a job carrying that through. So let's avoid things that aren't happening in the future. All right, very good. We will be back. Christopher Price is happening. The Patriots are playing. We will have that for you in just a moment.
Well, it's TT Boy out.
More Toucher and Hardy next on the Sports Hub.
Toucher or is that Hardy?
Ina looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass. Much to the chagrin of her children. Number 2 is, my boobs hurt. Delia is recovering well from her breast augmentation, but has a hard time being served bedside. You understand?
Yeah.
It only lasted 1 season.
Yeah. With those episode descriptions, I can't imagine why, but...
Randy Spears in the flesh. Delia's ex-husband, Randy Spears. You know Randy Spears?
No.
If you saw a picture of Randy Spears, you know
Hang
Randy
on,
Spears.
I've heard of this guy.
There's zero chance you have not seen Randy Spears in a porno. He's a big Jesus guy now. Like he comes up on...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's
I know
like,
that guy.
Yeah. You've seen Randy Spears in a porno. He does this stuff now for like a church about like how not to do porn, which is not a bad message. I would suggest not doing it too. Delia's ex-husband.
You're in lockstep with Randy on that message.
Yeah, I'm going to guess it messes up your life for very little money. Delia's ex-husband, Randy Spears, begins researching how to switch from the porn industry to the voice-over industry, which he does successfully do for a church, where he talks about how. But he says he was the biggest male porn star there was. And to that, I would say, absolutely not, Randy. Stop it right there. Come on. Let's go.
Stay humble.
Thank you, DT boy. Finally. All right. Christopher Price.
Has many thoughts on all these matters.
You knew who Randy Spears
Thank God
was,
we have a
correct?
journalist. Yes.
You know, I do not. But what was the show? That was it? You said Boob Job 11?
No, it was called Mommy XXX.
Okay.
Did you know that Randy Spears was best friends with John Doe, who, if you don't know by name, you'll know when you click on him even more than Randy Spears. John Doe killed himself.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to talk about now?
In 2015, Randy left the industry to turn to Christianity. And he is authoring a memoir, which sadly I would read. All right, Christopher. Go ahead, Christopher.
No, wasn't he one of the guys that there was a character in Boogie Nights that was based on him, right?
No, it's based on, maybe, because Dirk Diggler was supposed to be John Holmes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but the guy who kind of usurped Dirk Diggler, right?
Oh, Johnny Wad was the character's name.
Okay.
Was Randy
No.
Spears?
What was that?
Johnny Wad was what they called John Holmes.
Yeah, right.
Who was the guy that was supposed to usurp John Holmes? Well, John Holmes got himself in some hot water with the AIDS and the whole incident with the mass killing.
Byron.
Tom Byron.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes,
Thanks,
Tommy
12.
B.
Yeah.
He's in that Valley thing, that great podcast that Lily Analik did about the Tracy Lord situation. Once Upon a Time in the Valley. He is featured in that. Once Upon a Time in the Valley. If I could suggest one thing to you, Christopher Price, today.
Okay.
It's a series of podcasts called Once Upon a Time In, and they're heavily researched. The first one is Once Upon a Time in the Valley, and it's about the underage Tracy Lords scandal that happened in the 80s. And the second one is Once Upon a Time at Bennington College, which is about when Donna Tartt, Jonathan Latham, and Bret Easton Ellis all went to Bennington College and how that reflected in their books. They're both tremendous. It is how podcasts should be, well researched. They find people and interview them. You're like, how the hell did you even know who this person was? It is fantastic. So there you go.
I'm in.
My gift to you. I'm telling you, you'll like them. Everyone a listener told me about it, and I can't get up. I listened to Bennington College once, twice. All right. Anyway, here we go. Let me find my page that's not on Randy Spears. Okay. How sick are you of Tommy DeVito yet, or when will that? When will that occur?
I am not quite sick of Tommy DeVito, but look, man, I was talking about this with another reporter in the locker room the other day. That cat's got it all figured out. He does, because he could, once he retires, he could go back to the tri-state area, open up a couple of restaurants, and be Tommy Cutlets for the rest of his life, and not have to lift a finger, because he's I don't want to say he's gamed the system, but again, he's figured it out. I will say this: the one thing that I thought was really interesting when we talked to him the other day was that I asked him, what about getting up to speed in the Josh McDaniels offense? And he said, well, I was with Brian Daboll in New York for a couple of years, and that has a lot of the same elements as what Josh kind of preaches. So it's not a dramatic difference for him.
Okay, we were talking about this before we went on vacation. I don't know if we talked about it with you. Did you get a vibe that Vrabel, towards the end of the training camp and the end of the preseason, was trying to temper expectations a little bit? Is that something?
A little bit.
Okay, you did feel that way.
Yeah, a little bit. But I also, Fred, think that that's only natural for a coach who kind of has his, listening to the chatter, the outside conversation. And I think he sensed that the national discourse on the Patriots has kind of gotten a little bit more optimistic than he would like. And so I think he is trying to kind of tamper down expectations a little bit. Yes.
How frustrating is that to you as someone who covers a specific team? Because if you're covering a team that's not the Cowboys or the Steelers and is not playing well, I know as being a fan of one who's perennially bad, these national guys aren't watching the games, and they're doing box score analysis. So when you hear these guys, these talking heads, these very well-paid talking heads who are paid specifically to talk about football, and they're just not telling you things that are actually happening, how often do you find that frustrating?
It's incredibly frustrating. Yeah. And I always tell people on either social media or conversations or whatever the case may be, you listen to the people who are at practice on a regular basis. You listen to people who are in Foxborough on a regular basis. And I think the consensus amongst most of us who are down there on a semi-regular basis is somewhere between, let's say, 7 and 9 wins.
Which would be great.
And I think that's a fair level of expectation for this team when you consider, the startling lack of depth it has. There's a lot of talent there across the board. Milton Williams, Drake May, Steph Diggs, Trevion Henderson. They have a lot of blue chip talent. But as we all know, that at some point or another over the course of a full season, you're going to lose a guy or two here or there. And I think with this team, the margin for error is so slim that that's going to be reflected in the wins and losses.
Well, let's talk about injuries. I mean, Christian Gonzalez hasn't practiced in 5 weeks. It's looking more and more like he's not going to play for at least week 1. And I was reading an article by Karen Gurigi in a Mass Live yesterday. This exposes how paper thin the depth on this team is. One injury to Will Campbell is going to knock this team back significantly. An injury to Christian Gonzalez is never a good thing. Can this team recover from something like this?
Well, since you mentioned it, let's get into it. Specifically, Christian Gonzalez, what are your thoughts on what's going on with him?
If he doesn't practice today, he's not going to play on Sunday.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's very straightforward. Wednesday is the drop dead day for everyone in terms of practice availability for Sunday, in my estimation. And if he doesn't practice today, at least it has to be when the practice report comes out at 4:00, if he's not listed at least, a partial participant in practice, a guy who went through a few reps. If he doesn't practice at all today, if he's a DNP, he's not playing Sunday.
Do you think with this soft tissue injury and everything, it's annoying Vrabel at all? No. Okay.
Look, if this was the 53rd guy on the roster, I think it would be annoying to Vrabel, but I think Mike is completely cognizant of how important Christian Gonzalez is to this football team, and so he wants him out there when he's 100%.
Do you think there was like a setback, though? Is there something in addition to what originally held him out, or has this just been the ongoing thing?
Hamstrings are weird, Hardy. I mean, hamstrings it can be the kind of thing where you're feeling good one day, you're not feeling good the next day. The one thing that continues to stand out for me was we saw him on the practice field in Minnesota for those joint practices, working out with some other guys who are limited, going through reps, not with a helmet on and pads, but he was sprinting, he was doing a lot of stuff. And in that moment, it looked for all the world like he was getting closer to returning. So I think if you follow that, I'll put it this way. I don't think the rehab has been completely, a straight line from A to B in the right direction for Christian Gonzalez.
All right.
So where does that leave this team in pass defense this coming Sunday, assuming he doesn't play?
Yeah, you have Christian Gonzalez, and I think Alex Austin has had a good summer. Not a great summer, but I think he's had a good summer. I think he's demonstrated enough to show that he could probably be your number 2 cornerback if pressed into service. You're also going to have Marcus Jones back there. It's a loss. It's a significant loss for this defense because, as we talked about before, the depth here is not great. And when you lose a blue chip player like Christian Gonzalez, even for a game, I think it's going to be reflected in the scoreboard. So you're going to see, if Gonzalez can't go on Sunday, you're going to see Alex Austin, you're going to see Marcus Jones, and you're going to see Carlton Davis back there at cornerback.
And I don't know if this matters or doesn't matter, but I found it odd that Gonzalez and even Milton Williams, a high-ticket guy, neither of them were listed as captains yesterday or the day before. Is there anything to be drawn from that?
No, I don't think there's anything to be drawn from. I think if there was one guy who was probably the most surprising, at least from my perspective, I would have gone with Milton Williams ahead of Marcus Jones. But going back and looking at Vrabel's old press conferences over the course of the spring and the summer, he praised Marcus Jones's leadership on a handful of occasions. And I think, to me, that really stood out. The rest of them, Hunter Henry, not surprised. I think a lot is going to be put on the shoulders of Drake May this year from a leadership perspective, but that only makes sense. But, yeah, I was a little bit surprised that Milton Williams was not named a captain.
Yeah. Okay, you were, even though he's so new to the team and everything like that.
Yeah, but well, because you had Robert Spillane out there. And look, Robert Spillane is a classic Vrabel guy. Robert Spillane is a guy who would follow Mike Vrabel anywhere. And so to name him a captain or to vote him as a captain, I think makes a lot of sense. But I think, the Milton Williams thing, I was a little bit intrigued by that.
Okay. And what did you think of Belichick on Monday night?
Oof. We've never seen him in that situation before. And I'm even going back to the end where a Bill Belichick coach team looked completely unprepared to play a football game.
Yeah.
I think that the only other time I've seen that was 2008 when the Dolphins came out with a Wildcat and blew everyone away. I think that was the only other time where I've seen a Bill Belichick team just completely confused, just absolutely unprepared for what was on the other side of the ball.
Do you see him having success there ever, or do you think that this is kind of just
define success? I mean, it's part of the college football playoff or a winning season.
Well, this year,
to live your life in a way that one other life has breathed easier. That is what it means to be a success, Chris. That's Emerson.
I think he's got Pinstripe Bowl written all over him for this year.
I don't think they're going to be bowl eligible this year. But I mean, how do you see this all ending in North Carolina? Like, how long does he stick around? I mean, you said playoff. They're never going to make a NCAA playoff ever.
I don't think unless lightning strikes in Chapel Hill, I don't think they're going to be up there with LSU and Clemson and Alabama. I don't think North Carolina is ever going to reach those heights. I think they're going to be competitive, and I think they're going to, pull a few wins out of their backside just because they have Belichick there once he kind of figures things out and gets his hands around this team. But I don't think they're ever going to be a truly great college football team with Bill Belichick there.
I have one more Patriots question for you, Chris.
Sure.
In your predictions, you said that and I don't want to spoil it. People should go read it and see what you and everybody else picked for the win totals. But you said that this year was going to be the first chapter in a somewhat long rebuild. We have been thinking that we have already seen the first chapter for a few years now. So do you feel that this is going to be the last first chapter of the rebuild, at least for a while?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I think this team, if everything hits for this team, and I'll go ahead and spoil it, I think that they're a 7-win team. I do. I picked them to win 7 games. And look, if everything breaks right for them, I think 8 wins is in the conversation. And that involves no injuries to any substantial player. That involves winning some games that you should probably lose. And I think this team this year is going to win at least one game that, we're all going to be surprised by. But this is going to be a multi-year thing. I think that if they have another good offseason, that's what they need to point to. If they crush it in free agency in the draft next year, then I think you can point to this team as a playoff team in 2026. But right now, I think this feels like a 7-win team to me.
And more importantly, the last reset for a while.
Yeah, the last reset for a while. I think Vrabel's going to be here long term, put it that way.
Okay.
Whatever definition of long term you want to use in this case. But I think this is the first step in a reset that's going to end up with them in the postseason in the next couple of years.
I'm so used to the unreasonable 11 win. This is a reasonable take. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
I love this.
Thank you. 7 wins. But yes, I mean, seriously, that we all talk about the schedule, and I've heard a lot of guys talk about the schedule and how the schedule is easier. Well, the Raiders got better, and every other team on the schedule got better. And I will say this: there's the potential for them to steal a couple wins out of the gate, because you don't really know what kind of team you have until October. And I know, look, they got the Raiders, they got the Dolphins, the Steelers, the Panthers. If they go 2-2 through that stretch, maybe 3-1, best possible scenario, people should be very, very happy with this football team.
Yeah, I don't like them against that Raiders team at all. With the coaching and the quarterback and the veteran quarterback.
Raiders are also looking at the Patriots as a win also.
We've been over that.
Exactly.
But just that particular game, the other three, sure. I don't like them at all against that Vegas team. All right, thank you, Christopher Price. Everyone read his predictions and everything else at the Boston Globe. Thank you, Christopher. We appreciate it.
Appreciate the podcast recommendation, Fred. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right, here we go. Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. Will score a pair of tickets to the Patriots home opener against the Raiders on Sunday at Gillette Stadium. We have the headlines, and then someone claiming to be Kerry Tangway has sent us an email that we'll explore.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox beat Cleveland 11-7 at Fenway Park. They got 4 in the bottom of the 8th inning for the win. Ceddanne Rafaela, a homer, 4 RBIs. The Sox will pitch Brennan Bernardino as an opener against the Guardians tonight. Robin Anthony left in the 4th inning last night with a tight left oblique. He will undergo an MRI today. Patriots will be back at practice this afternoon after getting yesterday off. Christian Gonzalez has not practiced in over 5 weeks with a hamstring injury. The season opener is Sunday at home against Las Vegas. And according to a new book that he co-wrote, UConn head basketball coach Danny Hurley thought seriously about stepping down after last season and had preliminary talks with Fox about being a college basketball analyst this coming year. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Cortica is Boston's leading autism care team. We offer immediate diagnosis and therapies for toddlers and preschoolers. Learn how Cortica can support your child's autism care journey at corticacare.com. That's CORTICA care.com.
Drains by James is Eastern Massachusetts' leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. And by now, you know they give a poop about your pipes. Drains by James wants you to also know what else they give a poop about. Fast, clean, trustworthy service of your clogged pipes, drains, sinks, toilets, showers, you name it. Drains by James also give a poop about you, the customer. They're not electricians. They're not HVAC guys. They do drains. So go with them when you've got a clog. You might not need them today, but when you do.
Drains by James. They give a poop about your pipes.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
September means kickoff time in New England, and you could score big this season with FindMassMoney.gov. Here in Massachusetts, 1 in 10 people have unclaimed property from things like uncashed paychecks, refunds from overpaid bills, or forgotten savings accounts. I found my money at FindMassMoney.gov, and so could you. FindMassMoney.gov is free, easy to use, and it only takes 30 seconds to search your name. So don't fumble this opportunity. Check out FindMassMoney.gov today to claim your winnings. That's FindMassMoney.gov.
Put a Reedsbury shed in the backyard this fall and don't pay it off till 2027 with 18-month 0% financing on every shed. Order this week and we guarantee delivery before Thanksgiving. But 0% financing ends Columbus Day, so stop in today or shop online at reedsbury.com. For a new shed this fall, make the call.
Call 888-85-SHEDS.
18 months, 0%. You got a good one. Reed's Ferry.
Change is...
Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, close to the edge like vinyl. We gon' mono a mono. I'm Don Corleone, you Ronald McDonald. Meet me at the live show. I consign on your vinyl. We got them all. Cubanos, Dominicanos, Chicanos, my followers.
We are
Attendees even save the ticket paper stub.
Toucher and Hardy, and at this time on Friday, we're giving you a shot at winning a brand new Ford F-150 courtesy McGovern Automotive Group. Just listen for your Instagram username to be announced. When you hear it, you got 985 seconds to call us back on the contest line, 617-931-0985 to qualify for the truck. Contest rules and info on how to enter at 985thesportshub.com, so that should be exciting. Remember, we are giving away Ford F-150. You got to involve Instagram in it, so go to 985thesportshub.com to figure that all out. Earlier in the hour, we had a segment that did not go well. We were promised, based on a sign that was on a signpost in Cambridge, that there was something called "quote unquote" ass night, and MILFs and GILFs were invited and everything else. And then the guys in the back did some research, and it turned out to be nothing.
Dickie Stock, the guy behind this, did call us during one of the other segments too to say,
Of
no,
course
it's
he did.
about asses.
Yeah, sure.
So,
It's okay.
yeah.
Well,
Trying
anyway,
to kick save it.
It was a bit of a fail, but we have Gary, not Gary Tangway, emailing in. Okay, he says, John, does this not fill you with the burning fire of 1,000 suns? I'm thinking a false advertisement suit will get us some good seed money for your next staycation. Yeah, you don't leave. All right, I was ready to cruise by the Middle East doing character studies for my upcoming book, Peter Bread and Hugh Jazz, A Killer in Cambridge.
Peter Bread?
Peter Bread. Peter Bread. Instead of Peter Bread, you understand?
Oh, I got it.
Peter Bread and a Hugh Jazz, A Killer in Cambridge. Hey, Rocky Suarez was just seeing some Greek dude, and they decided to have hummus, and the Greek dude ate it, and all of a sudden blood started pouring from his mouth. She said, "What'd you bite your tongue?" And he said, "No, this stuff's made of people. Someone in the back's crushing up bodies and making hummus." Rocky Suarez's pendulous breasts swung into motion, only described as erotically urgent, as she ran to the back with her gun, and as it backfired, her boobies and butt shook. Kapoomp, kapoomp. Shook like what? Let's think. Shook like what? Shook like a mound of Jello. No.
Too trite.
Yeah, right. Like 89 in Frisco.
There you go.
There you go. That's it. Hey, yeah. Yeah. Rocky Suarez knew she smelled something was foul, and it was guts. She had to get to the bottom of it. Her huge breasts, unencumbered by bra, showing areolas, while large, not disturbing. And that was Rocky's deal.
They weren't coffee cup saucers, they were pepperonis.
P.S. What's Adam 12's email? I have some ideas for him.
Now Rocky had a cut-off leg to deal with.
Peter Bread and the huge ass, the killer in Cambridge. Yeah, there was some... Rocky Suarez went to see some dumb alt band, but she went to go see that. Rocky Suarez went to go see Letters to Cleo, but the only letter sitting there was a letter from a killer. That's right. So she kicked the lead singer off the stage and started singing, and the crowd got too into it because of her jugs. I don't know. It was like a Samantha Fox thing. I want to have some fun with my body all night long. All right.
Nothing like a good tushy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
We got another email from a guy said the comedian, the Dick at Night guy who was putting up the flyers, and for the ass night, bring your big ass and friendship and whimsy. It's all a ruse to get you in for his show, for his quote unquote show at the corner, Middle East corner, not the Middle East upstairs, the Middle East downstairs.
What is the seating capacity of the corner?
I don't know if there's any seats in there. Is it
Are
an
there
SRO?
12 any seats in the corner?
I haven't been in there in a long time.
But Mike said this sounds like a Harvard Lampoon guy who thinks he's funny. This is why Trump is withholding funds.
It is true. I mean, when was the last time you watched The Simpsons? I mean, the Harvard Lampoon is just is coming out of it. You know, the Harvard Lampoon, National Lampoon magazine was great for its time and very subversive. There's great documentaries actually about it. But the two guys that started it, their first big piece was a setup on Lord of the Rings in novel form. So it was like the size of the novel, but you had to be intimately aware of the novel to get the satire, which shows you that these guys were two dorks were swimming in cooch. Their names were Melvin and I don't know. Melvin and
Melvin, I don't know. Give him a name.
Yeah, throw some other dork thing in there. Anyway, they set up cameras in the chick's dorm. Right? Revenge of the Nerds, right? Playing along. Except
this happened beforehand, so actually I thought of it first in a way.
Yeah, right. Except they're comedy writers. And they make a new Simpsons, but with Rocky Suarez starring it, and she's got yellow boobs. These are ideas, I'm pitching. I don't know.
But you should use them all. You just change the order.
Yeah. Moe's a strip club, huh? I don't know. I'm just thinking of stuff. The cop, the dumb one with the dumb kid. Yeah, well, he dies early.
What?
Yeah. It's an investigation, huh?
Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Burns does something. Mr. Burns and Smithers finally just get it over with. That's another one. First episode, Mr. Burns comes in, showers on. Who's in there but that glasses fella he wants to have sex with him. Mr. Burns says, I'm going to die. And he says, please don't leave the planet without doing me. And then that happens, and he lives. And then we go from there, we're just kicking ideas around.
It's just a subplot. It's not the main one.
Nothing that you have to write home about. Those two guys, the black guy and the white guy, they're friends with Homer. They do it too. I don't know. Maybe we spin it to the gays. Has there been a gay animated farce? Let's play with it. Let's see where it goes. I mean, listen, nothing's as hot as gay right now, right? Let's play with it. What kind of things do they like on bodies? They like them big? I don't know. I'm real straight, so I wouldn't know.
Do your own research.
No, we do woke porn, though. It's a whole new audience.
There's so much consent. It ends at consent. It with me leaves you wanting more. They go like, may I? And then they go, are you sure? Are you double sure? And then it ends and everyone's satisfied because nothing happens. And then it's people having babies at 42. I don't know. It's coming up with stuff. All right, we'll be back. Paul Feinbaum must have had something going on yesterday because there was all kinds of college football over the weekend. Our friend Paul Feinbaum was at it, and we will hear all about it in just a moment.
It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
There is good news and bad news surrounding the Red Sox this morning. First, the good. They rallied from down 7-5 in the sixth inning for an 11-7 win over Cleveland at Fenway Park. Alex Bregman's infield RBI single touched off a 4-run rally in the bottom of the eighth for the win after Ceddanne Rafaela tied it with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the sixth. Sox go for a 3-game sweep tonight. Brennan Bernardino will start as an opener. The bad news is Roman Anthony left in the fourth inning with a tight left oblique. Alex Bregman, for one, not happy about this.
I feel like we're kind of in that September mode right now of where like it's next pitch mentality of just execute the next pitch of the next play, the next game. And obviously losing Roman today is a gut punch. Obviously one of the best players in all of baseball, but we got to continue to push along.
Anthony will undergo an MRI today. Patriots will practice this afternoon as they begin to get ready for the season opener Sunday against Las Vegas. Christian Gonzalez missed Monday's workout. He hasn't practiced in over 5 weeks. Former Patriot wide receiver Kenrick Bourne met with the Washington Commanders yesterday after meeting with San Francisco 2 days ago. And Novak Djokovic beat top American Taylor Fritz in 4 sets. He is through to the semifinals of the U.S. Open tennis tournament. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, keeping drains flowing for homes and businesses in the greater Boston area since 1976. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Get the app.
There's the potential there for big stuff.
98.5 The Sports Hub app. Get the app.
Is elongating?
Weekday morning.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub.
We are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube to do so. And it is college football season. I was in Tennessee for some of it. And I'll tell you, if you have a boat in Tennessee, you can't just have one flag. That's almost just, you might as well have a hammer and sickle. You gotta have, there was one boat, it was probably 7 feet long, 4 flags.
I thought just burnt orange. I just thought it was burnt orange and that was it.
No, because they're getting a lot of people moving from California.
Okay.
So, first of all, everyone used to wave there. My parents live in this like big ass community. They moved there when they were like in the early 60s, so it's not like necessarily a retirement community. They're, you know, they're homes. And there's 6,000 homes in this area, and it's all centered around this lake and these 3 golf courses, and but it's in middle Tennessee, so it's exceedingly affordable for that kind of atmosphere. Well, it was when they first moved there, people from the Midwest, I-75, and people from Tennessee, so like almost annoyingly, everyone would wave. But my parents had been there for 20 years. And now that California's hell in the handbasket. No, but just California's so incredibly hard to retire in because of the tax situation there. People are they're getting more people from California than anywhere else on the planet. And these people do not like University of Tennessee, which is and they do not wave. So now you'll be driving and just out of habit I'll wave, or if I'm walking I'll wave. And I'll receive no wave back. And it's all because of the California people. And I brought that to my father. And he didn't like that I said it. Because, you know, I had an idea. And a theory. Which had to be shot down immediately.
Which just had to be not proven wrong, but just determined as wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know why I know why there's more people moving from California than anywhere else. I haven't met one of them. It's just my father is very big on giving demographics. And then you know, obviously that disaster in California with that that commie Gavin Newsom has got everyone coming out here. Not to mention the lady in San Francisco. I can't even remember her name.
So
Pioli or whatever her name is.
He told you that people from California were moving in.
Yeah, and
then
I'm like,
later you said people from California are this.
I'm like,
and he
people
said,
aren't.
No.
I'm like, people aren't waving. I guess it's the people from California. He's like, nah. I'm like, okay. Nice talking to you. I told you guys this. I told my ex-wife this last night. I told you guys this. We went in, I think I told you yesterday. So he was like obsessed with this like project that he was doing for free for it's 6,000 homes, and he does basically the marketing for them because they're all inept down there because it's Tennessee.
Sure.
But he does it for free, but he treats it like it's like his job. So luckily he was doing that the whole time. But my son and I had to go into his den, and once we got past the fart smell, there was like, you know, in the empty soda cans in the apple cores and popsicle sticks, there was papers laying all over the floor and all over the desk, like papers printed out because he prints everything out. And Mao like goes to pick one up, and I'm like, I wouldn't pick that up. And he's like, why? He's like, crap's all over the place. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to you, but I guarantee it makes sense to him. And he don't like you touching that stuff. And cause he won't yell at you, but he'll certainly yell at me. And they're always like, Grandma and Grandpa are so nice. I'm like, huh? How do you think my dad is nice? But apparently he is somehow worked away. Well, maybe because he wasn't talking that time. I told you how my mom came in with 2 water bottles.
Right.
And it announced, Freddie, will you take these home? No. But we had them at a baseball game, and Stephanie gave them to us. And no, I don't want to take them home. but they're yours. No. And then she cowers away.
Now, why wouldn't you take the water bottles home?
Oh, because we had carry-on bags, Hardy, and they were giant water bottles. That's why.
Well, you empty them. Yeah, empty them out, and there's no problem with the TSA, and it cuts down on the weight, and it makes your mother happy.
Yeah, and it's $10 a water bottle, and of course, I mean, it's just cluttering up their 7,000 square foot home. I could understand that those water bottles are, considering they have their taxes, no joke, from the 70s, their entire tax filings, including the receipts, going back to the 70s. I'm sure those water bottles are a real hindrance to them.
I gotta live in Tellico Village when I retire. That sounds like the life.
So I got
big house.
So I got I got one of the first paddle boards ever in the continental United States. I'm not making it up. I did. They only manufactured them in Hawaii when I got them, and it was really expensive. But it weighs
no
like,
brag. Yeah, no big deal.
It's called Eddie and the Expensive Paddleboard. But the thing is, he's banging on it.
I cashed out part of my 401k to get it.
Yeah.
It's totally worth it. It was
I paid 70% taxes on it. But
Solid
don't worry.
foundation.
It's all about recreation. You make it up on the back end. So it became useless. Like, it weighs like 50 pounds. It's like real like stuff. Like, so my mom goes, "Can I give it away?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, got this guy that comes over, kid who comes over and clears stuff out. She's like, "Do you want it?" And the kid's like, "Yeah." So she literally comes in, wakes me up, and she goes, "Freddie?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I gave your paddleboard away." I go, "Fantastic." And she goes, "But I told the boy that I'd give him a paddle." And I went, "All right." And she goes, "Well, which paddle should I give him?" And I'm like, "How about you don't give him a paddle?" Uh-huh. You gave him the paddleboard, right? Yeah. Then why are you bothering me with giving him a paddle? Have him go buy a paddle. But I said a paddle. Like, she had sold it to the guy. Well, paddle was part of the deal. For free? For free is the deal. I shouldn't have to do anything when you're giving something away.
I understand that you don't want to be bothered with it anymore, but what use is any paddle to them if without a paddleboard?
Right.
Take all the paddles.
No, but we have paddleboards.
Oh, you have,
and we have kayaks and stuff.
You've upgraded.
Right.
Well, no, it just was ridiculous to have a 500-pound paddleboard when they make them for like $100,
right?
And they weigh like 2 pounds, and you can bring it down to the dock. All right. So anyway, they live down there. They live in Feinbaum country, and here is a lot happened. Alabama lost. You got LSU. They beat Clemson. A lot's going on. And here's what the Feinbaum callers had to say yesterday. We'll start with someone we've heard before.
Legend is next. Thanks for taking my call, my black hat brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's Jazz.
Okay.
That's how they used to introduce. That's when Benny Goodman used to introduce Charlie Parker.
As the black hat brother.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, what's up, my black cat brother?" "Hey, man, this is Jazz Wallach. What's up, black cat brother?"
I thought that's what he said was black cat brother, but no.
Yeah, black cat. That's what we call that tie on him. You got that black cat? You don't, do you? Well, you got a mouth. That's going to be my hair on today. The horn section is going to be me. And you're going to be playing it all night long till you come up with my money. All right. Jazz walk.
Paul, it's a football nightmare, brother. This is a football nightmare, brother. Man, I'm telling you something. I've already heard it from several sources today. This guy's got no control over this team whatsoever. There's rumors that players are getting DoorDash to their room at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, those are, where
That's
would you
going to
get-
undermine everything. Well, first of all, his sources.
Which is you.
Well, no, it was. I don't want to say who, but it was at the Stuckey's, and I was there, and I was using their shower. I was using the shower bath at the Stuckey's.
I'll tell you what. I was at I was at that truck stop, and I keep an eye on things, and Flo was sending out a sandwich. What door am I going to, Flo?
I'd sooner change the logo of Cracker Barrel again before I'd let my kids DoorDash at 2 a.m., Paul.
Man, these lot lizards got big mouths, Paul. And I'll tell you what, I was sitting in the bed of my truck, and some lady come on, knock on the window. I said, "What's going on? I don't want any." And she goes, "No, this ain't for sex, legend." I said, "What is it?" She goes, "They're DoorDashing."
She's right. She told me right through my window.
What's your source?
Man,
Well, I DoorDash at 2 in the morning, Paul. That's why I'm calling you.
Yes. Same guy.
Now, I signed an NDA with DoorDash, but I'll have you know I have delivered, let's just say, in the area.
sneaking their girlfriends in the team hotel, being late for the bus on the way to the stadium.
And that was what made University of Miami so great all those years, is the lack of sex.
Jimmy Johnson, a very
Jimmy
strict
Johnson,
disciplinarian.
And how about Ohio State? Like,
right.
one thing those kids, listen, they killed a couple people, but they weren't having sex.
That's right. Urban Meyer.
At
had
least
total
with
control.
consent. These college kids are out of their minds. They're having sex. This idiot thinks that the Alabama football team under Saban didn't have sex. That these guys in their 20s that are in prime physical condition and are playing at the biggest program in the world aren't enjoying sex. Okay. Nah, can't have a game in 2 weeks.
I mean, it's clear this guy is just a substitute teacher that's got no control over the class whatsoever, Paul.
Paul, because I can refer back to third grade, and I told that teacher, "You'll never see me again," and I held my word. I never went through a school door again. And that's why I'm calling you Paul.
This guy's got no control of this program. It's all lip service, brother.
Yeah. Lip service.
It's all lip service, brother.
Yeah. Put on that Kool-Aid.
It's all lip service. It was bad enough that I had to go on Maury Povich last year before the nation and say that Vandy was my daddy. That was bad as friggin' enough.
Wait, so Maury Povich is on this? First of all, congratulations on still being alive.
Wow.
Maybe more, by going on Maury Povich, he put a VHS tape in his trailer. I swear to you, Maury, Vandy is number one.
But now there's a part 2 to Legends Football Nightmare. I just got my ass run over by the Gus bus. The freaking Gus bus just ran my ass over.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Can't help you.
I guess it's true what they say, Paul. The Gus bus wheels do go round and round.
This is the last book he was reading. Paul, if I may refer to you to what is sitting in front of me in my library right now. The wheels of the bus go round and round.
Round and round.
Now, last time I did tell you about the kid with the great brain. And before that, I knew fudge was on the menu when we discussed super fudge. But now Legends Book Club has gone to the wheels of the bus.
Round and round over by Candy Ass. That's where they went round and round. I've never seen a team more softer, more pathetic in all my life. I'm sorry, Godfather. Forgive me, brother. Forgive me. Where's the pride? Where's the passion? The friggin' tradition, the pride of wearing the damn A.
Does he break his diploma at any point during this? Because I would hate it if he turned and started hurting his own personal belongings.
Well, I mean, hopefully not all of them.
Yeah,
maybe the the bachelors could suffer, but I don't want him touching that master's or PhD.
Yeah, I mean that PhD, it's up there for the patients to see.
Jersey, where is it? That was friggin' pathetic, dude.
Now you'll excuse me, I have to get into surgery.
You interrupt me, I hang up.
Now, Paul, listen, I have a heart for a transplant in the back of my car, and you kept me on hold for a little while. This thing's getting warm, and I don't think that's what's supposed to be happening.
I didn't have time to fetch my Yeti. It's in a substandard igloo.
Paul, I'm just holding this heart in my hand, really. It's blood flowing everywhere. But, I mean, it's Alabama's fault. The DoorDash is now delivering live organs. Hey, Paul, I'm working with this Colombian family, and we're harvesting organs.
I tell you, Coach DeBoer, we don't need marriage counseling. It's a full-fledged divorce now, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly what he just said.
It's only a matter when we run your ass off now. It's got nothing to do with marriage counseling no more, brother. This is a full-fledged divorce. I'm not saying that I hate your ass, but if you was on life support, I'd pull the plug and charge my phone. Nobody likes you. You are an outsider. Leave Alabama today, dude.
To gay dudes? All right. Pride. Leave Alabama to gay dudes. All right. Sweet.
Leave Alabama today, dude.
All right.
All right. Fair
It's
enough.
all lip service, brother.
Paul, I'm picturing a gay utopia. Leave Alabama alone, you straight cis piece of garbage.
Round and round over by Candy Ass.
Leave us to our gay Eden.
Where's the pride?
It's all Oscar Wilde. Books and such. Let's play with it. Maplethorpe photos as far as the eye can see. It's a gay paradise in Tuscaloosa.
Where's the pride?
The gay pride.
The gay pride.
Hey.
Rainbow streets. Come on.
Leave Alabama today, dude.
Yeah. All right. I'm all for that.
Leave it today.
All right. Listen. I'm all for that.
You're an outsider.
You are an outsider.
You're a breeder.
When I was studying Greek,
Sleep with someone outside your family.
I remember my professor, Sir Christian Scammon, and he told us about Greek literature and how the beautiful relations between men and in the Renaissance and the beautiful sculptures of the genitalia. And now the school's turned into some kind of crazy ass football factory.
Telling yourselves to cover yourselves up. Why? Why, Paul?
Wait, who can't see the great art in the human form, Paul? I mean, look. They denied all my Maplethorpe photos. I have the actual whip.
Where's the pride?
And really, at the end of the call, he sounds like he's like, give it to the gays. And I totally agree. What if there was a big... That's what Trump wants, really. He wants to give Alabama to the gays. All right, very good. That's why he's going after all these schools. You know, he's really going after Alabama. All right, Tom Karen. Hardy ran into him at a game, and he's nice enough to say that he would do the show. So we will talk to him in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher.
golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Zone.
Yeah, it sucks. I've hoping for the best and staying positive, but anytime I'm not out there, I'm pretty pissed off. It sucks.
For Toucher and Hardy, Tom Caron is a studio host and broadcast announcer for Nesson with the Red Sox, of course. Your friendly voice as we come to the end of the regular season. A high-scoring win yesterday for your local 9. Tom Caron, hello, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. How we doing?
We're doing well. I heard you were rubbing elbows in the VIP section with Hardy. This was
Was he on the way? Did he get like the Tony Maz invite to the John Henry suite? Like I saw him, but I didn't know where he was headed.
I walked down there. I pounded on the door, and I don't know that they must have not heard me because I was surprised not to get the invite, but I figured they wanted me down there, and I just
listen. 30 years in Ness, and I've never gotten the invite. So there you go.
That's impossible.
I've never.
What? No way.
No, there's another owner suite that I pop into once in a while, but that one I've never been in to hang during a game.
That is Werner. Werner's in there, right?
Yeah. I'm in like the all the other owners suite. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you a question? If you, like Alex Spear, I don't know if there's even I can make the same kind of comparison, but so Maz was in the owner's box. But Felger didn't know that he was going to be in the owner's box, and Maz knew in advance that he was going to be in there. If you had a coworker that just there was a photo of him in John Henry's box, right. And then he was like, I've known for a couple weeks I was going in there, and they never mentioned it to you, wouldn't you find that queer or odd? Wouldn't you find that odd?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to overstate the whole thing, but I'd have to reconsider our entire relationship, wouldn't I?
You wouldn't want to overstate everything, but no, but I would.
I wouldn't want to pull it, but I'd have to wonder if anything he had ever said to me before was the truth.
Yeah, because if you're doing sports radio, and you talk and you do a show focused on the Red Sox
20
all
hours
season.
a week, you're on the air talking with each other.
Yeah, and then 5 hours extra you're doing just the Red Sox.
It's kind of a largish Red Sox development in your life. Communication with the owner.
And I'd also be like, you have, and then they found out he had his number. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a second, you've had his number this whole time?
20 years he's had the number.
We could have called him at any time, and you didn't give it to us.
The number, and he just, I don't use it. I feel like that's, if you're having chats with him, that's next level. I do know this, and it is part of the reason. Remember, Tony Maz was with us for a little while there, doing some of the games, and I do know that John Henry objectively thinks Tony Maz knows baseball, and I know that from conversations with both of them, and so I think he does like to talk ball with people, but the not telling anybody is the part that I think Tony has to think about.
Oh no, Tony knows a ton about baseball, and he's great at expressing it, and he's a wonderful personality. This is solely based on his not sharing the information. I was on a show with a guy that held a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, and it was all weird, and but if I found out that he had it would be even different. Nothing compares to it because they talk about sports constantly, so it would really bug me. Anyway,
well, it is the first thing I said to Hardy. I said, "Does Fred know you're here?" Yeah. So, you have to start.
He didn't know I was there, but the moment I got done talking to you, I texted Fred and Adam.
Yeah, but that's not quite the John Henry suite now, is it?
No, but still.
But he did say I talked to Tom Caron, and Caron was cool and said that he would come on the show. So he did even tell us that.
That was my in the owner's box moment, getting a chance to see you and talk to you at the game.
Yeah.
You're royalty over
talking
there.
To me by the ice cream stand behind L10.
No, you're royalty in that building, sir.
That was good ice cream too.
Well, listen, no need to rub it into the plebeians. All right, so look, the Red Sox are playing fantastic. Let's start though with the Roman Anthony situation. Have you heard anything about that? He's got an oblique.
No, the first night's really hard on something like that because they don't know. They got to get imaging. They got to have a lot of people look at it. You've been doing this a long time. You try not to speculate on injuries, right? Because I've seen guys carried off the field, and I'm sure they're never going to walk again, and they're in there the next day. On the other hand, things that don't seem that big a deal can be a big deal. What I didn't love was his tone. You guys just ran the clip. He sounded really down, and Trevor Story, Alex Bregman, some of the other guys who talked yesterday, the post game, was really kind of like rallying the troops, which indicates at least they think, in my mind, they seem to think last night that he's going to be gone for a little while. Well, now again, we don't know. We'll find out. Oblique's the problem though, especially that front side for him, where it's the front side. That's kind of the power side that and there's a lot of torque in his swing. So I'd be surprised if he's not going to at least miss a little time here.
Well, discuss what a loss of him would be like. I mean, the Red Sox have, I think it's fair to say, a platoon-heavy lineup. Roman Anthony's one of those guys that hits in the same spot every night, regardless of who's pitching. Describe what a loss of him for a week or two would be like for this team.
Yeah, it'd be impactful, no doubt about it. He's got 400 on base percentage, and now he's been hitting for power. He's got, the 2 home runs the first 50 games, and now he's got 6 since. It'd be a huge blow, coupled with Wilyer Abreu being out. All of a sudden, you got right field open, and now you're talking about probably Rafaela and the password and Duran as the outfield. It's not the same. Offensively, it really hurts. Defensively, he'd become really good in right field. So that it would be a blow. There's no doubt about that. And, when you look at this team, I think what gives you a little bit of excitement, a little bit of hope here for not just making the playoffs, but maybe doing something, is the fact that you've got good pitching at the top of the rotation, really good relieving at the end, the back end of the bullpen, and enough offense to go. But you take him out, I think that's because, this is a team, remember, April, May, and it kind of coincides with life before Roman Anthony. There's a lot of swing and miss in that lineup. All of a sudden, you drop him at the top of it. He doesn't swing at pitches outside the strike zone. And that's been, he takes the walk. And I think that's a big blow if you lose his presence at the top of the lineup.
Okay, Garrett Crochet, we know he's over innings. We talked about it with you before. He struggled a little bit last night. His velocity is still there. His location seems to be a little bit off. Are you worried about these innings? And we were talking about it because I honestly don't know. How do you handle it from here if you're the Red Sox? If you do think there's an issue.
Yeah, I don't know because he's such a different case. He never went more than 4 innings in a start after the All-Star break last year. They were really, really careful. And a couple times earlier this year, right, we kind of all called Cora out for taking him out so early in a game, but that was all part of keeping the innings down, which makes sense. I'd like to see them get a little extra time off between starts. It's not a massive difference, but I think it's about a half a run ERA better when he gets an extra day's rest. And so, with these final, we're down to 3.5 weeks of the season here, and they got a couple days off now. They're off Thursday. They're off next Thursday. They're doing it with Tolley, right? Tolley, who just made his debut, could go today on regular rest, but they're going to wait an extra 2 days in this case because of the day off, because he's never thrown on 4 days rest in the minors. So I would hope they can get an extra day or 2 rest, even if it means a bullpen game here or there. They'd really it would have to be 2011 levels for them not to make the playoffs. It would be a total collapse at this point. Right. So, and I know you'd like to get the home field, you'd like to get the division and all that, but if you sprinkle in a couple of bullpen games like they're going to do tonight, I think you can get them a little extra rest, and I think that could help.
Down the stretch, who are the 4th and 5th starters on this team at this time?
Tolley's got a chance, which is crazy, right? The guy had 11 single-A starts and 6 double-A starts before he went to Worcester. And a calendar year later, he's potentially – but, in the playoffs, I don't know, you need one, right? There's a lot of days off in the playoffs now. And you pretty much get by with 3 starters, and I think you need a 4th starter once each series. So maybe that's Tolley, maybe that's a bullpen. I thought we'd see Kyle Harrison tonight, one of the guys they got in the Devers deal, but he's not getting the call. They're going with the bullpen game. I don't know if Fitz can be back in time. There's a lot of unknown back there. You do like that they have the 3, and Bayo and Giolito have been really good now. So that's the hope. But I'd like to see what Tolley does here over his next 3 starts, because if you only need him once a series, he'll be able to get that extra rest.
It seems kind of silly to be like, based on where this team has come from this season to, want home field as opposed to anything else. But the crowds and seem to certainly, be really, really into it last night on a Tuesday night after Labor Day, for them to stick around, get through the loss of the lead, and to be there for the rally. I don't want to completely dismiss the advantage that I think Fenway has become a bit for this team. I mean, in addition to the record, the people are believing this as well they should right now, and I wonder if they do think about that just a tiny bit down the stretch here, Tom.
You could hear all that in the luxury suites. That's good to know.
No, I wasn't there last night.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
And I was sitting outside.
No, you're right, Hardy. The difference was, remember, it was the Fenway experience, right? That's what they were selling. And they always have good crowds. They're better crowds now. They're selling out, and they weren't selling out before. But they had big crowds. The difference is, to your point, they're baseball crowds again. Right, there's groans if they leave a guy in a runner in scoring position. And last night, that was an ugly inning. Crochet was getting 3 home runs in the inning, 6 runs. That's usually where we cut to the camera showing people heading to the exits, right? And it didn't happen. They hung in there. Rafaela came back with a he smashed that thing, and the crowd went nuts. And 2-3 guys were talking about it after the game last night, just that the crowd kind of got them back to life. And you're right. So, especially in a wild card, Sox haven't made the playoffs under this playoff format. In that first round, best of 3, all in one place. So if you get home field for that wild card, you're getting 2 or 3 games at Fenway. And I really don't mind if they end up going to Yankee Stadium, because they've really seemed to take, they got the number for the Yankees this year. That hasn't been a major problem. I'd rather have them here. But if it's anybody else, you don't want to go to Seattle.
Right.
You don't want to go to Houston. That could be problematic. So I do think they're going to go hard to try to get that home field. Right now, the division's still in play. You're 3.5 out, and you got Toronto at the end of the season. So you certainly got a chance. That'd be even better, because then you'd probably get the bye if you win the AL East. And I know teams have lost plenty of series in this format after the bye, but it's like winning a free round. You take that if you can, because they can set up everything. So I think they are going to go for home field advantage as hard as they can, but if it means protecting Crochet, I think they'll do that first.
All right, Tom Caron, thank you so much. What a faithful meeting out there in the luxury boxes the other day, and it is to all our benefits. Tom Caron.
I'm just glad he filled you all in and kept no secrets. It's what we, the listeners, think the show is really about, and it's nice to know that behind the veil it really is.
Yeah, it's nothing is hidden. Nothing is hidden. In fact, I demanded to see him nude before we'd hire him. All right, Tom Caron.
Not sure I needed to know that, but thank you.
Well, listen, you asked for it. Tom Caron, thank you so much. We appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, I appreciate it. All right, Paul Feinbaum, another phone call.
Yep.
A little confused, this one. We will have that for you in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Garrett Crochet gave up 7 runs in 6 innings, and the Red Sox still found a way to win. They beat Cleveland 11-7 at Fenway Park. Don Rafaela, home run and 4 RBIs. Brennan Bernardino will open up the finale of this 3-game series today. Roman Anthony injured last night. He left after striking out in the 4th inning with what the team is calling left oblique tightness. He'll undergo an MRI today. Patriots will practice this afternoon. Christian Gonzalez missed Monday's workout. He hasn't practiced for over 5 weeks since hurting a hamstring in late July. Patriots open their season Sunday in Foxborough against Las Vegas. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Veterinary Urgent Care Center. With 8 locations in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, VUCC offers compassionate, convenient, high-quality care 7 days a week. Walk in or book an appointment at veturgentcare.com. Veterinary Urgent Care Center, urgent care for your pet's urgent needs. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports.
Toucher.
Dressed like a gorilla.
Half Hardy.
A big, beautiful ball of flame.
And a whole lot of Boston sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider. We are Toucher and Hardy, Paul Feinbaum, a show I have been on, which led to many, many calls from his audience to yell at me because I said, when in doubt, Alabama fans, just sit back and think about what got you to the university as a student and the knowledge that you gathered matriculating around the campus in Tuscaloosa. And I don't care if it was Russian literature, physics, anything. Just lean back into and think of all the academic lessons that you learned there. And they did not like that. All right, so we heard from Legend, who wanted to make whatever he wanted to make out of Tuscaloosa. He's very upset about Alabama losing to Florida State, featuring BC's old quarterback. This is another call that Paul received yesterday.
School is next.
Paul, how you doing, buddy?
Old school.
Let's redact the balls here. That thing that they did on Lee Corso, that tribute ESPN, I'll tell you, I don't know who did that. That brought a tear to this man's eye. That was a hell of a deal that y'all did for that dude. I sat there and watched him in that chair, and I know he had to like it.
I sat there and watched him in that chair. Paul, that chair is the one I watched him in.
Can you see it?
Can now let me picture. Let
me hold the phone up to it.
It's a broken easy chair. It's a broken easy chair.
Yeah.
Would it help? Yeah. Would it help if I move the speaker across the grain?
Huh?
Paul. I'll tell you, that Lee Corso fella, he gonna die, you know? This chair is all, this chair live forever. I mean, Lee Corso is very much alive. It was a nice tribute, but I mean, he's alive. It got a little bit like, all right, guys, like, you know, he can still contribute to this world. He's still loved.
School is next.
Oh, how you doing, buddy?
Old school.
Let's redact the balls here. That thing that they did on Lee Corso, that tribute ESPN, I'll tell you, I don't know who did that. That brought a tear to this man's eye. That was a hell of a deal that y'all did for that dude. I sat there and watched him in that chair, and I know he had to like it.
I haven't cried that much since they executed my uncle. They put him in that chair.
That chair right there.
They let us have the chair. It's cool. I mean, you can still smell them a little. They burned.
I was gonna bust it up for the wood, but I used an old schiffer robe instead.
Oh hell! You think it's made of wood? What do you got? You got no sense. You need a soldering iron for that thing. That thing's as metal as a dang metal. That's as metal as something made of metal.
The next thing, Paul, you said you're gonna come on.
I don't know what about the Mexican.
Next thing.
Oh,
Next thing.
okay, all right, very good.
The next thing, Paul, you said you're gonna come on my show. And we had a preview last night with AJ and Tyler, AJ McCarron and Tyler. But you're not on TikTok, are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, my God.
Everyone's got a show.
Old School's got a show on TikTok. He's got a show, you see.
Like, Paul Feinbaum has a show. You don't have a show. You have a microphone. And someone created technology.
He doesn't even have a microphone. He's probably just doing it right into his phone.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's enough. You're making it worse for the other people with shows. Not us.
I'm gonna try to find this guy's show and see if it's.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow we find this guy's show.
Old school show.
Yeah, you know, Paul, you have an open invitation whenever you want. Oh, thank you. I have an open invitation whenever I want to do your TikTok show. That's great.
Can you get on how you going to come on if you
Well, I would imagine that before I come on, I'll probably be able to figure that out.
I'd come under a troll if I was you, Paul.
What? How is he supposed to understand your podcast?
I'd come under a troll if I was you, Paul. Just come under a troll.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't help you.
I don't think Paul
Something
knows
about
either.
Something about a troll.
And part of his Paul's gift is not caring.
and just letting him go.
Yeah, and not asking too many questions.
Because, there are some people out there who do speak old school, and they probably understand what he's saying, and for him to interrupt is just going to stop the flow.
And the best thing ever is if ever anyone said anything racist or, like, terrible, he has plausible deniability. Like, he can go, like, what, you understand these guys? I don't understand them. They could be saying everything. They could be reading Mein Kampf. I don't know what they're doing.
I come under a troll if I was you, Paul. Just come under a troll.
Yeah, right now I'll try to get on, but it's a little. Randy's got me booked for his podcast this week.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing, real quick. Squirrel said something yesterday about this Black Hat Society. And listen, a legend nominated me. I got voted down. I'll try hard next year. I believe in the democratic process.
What the hell is going on?
The Black Hat Society.
So there's this whole thing.
Is it a group of women that get together and have a potluck dinner? The Red Hat Society?
I'm learning this as you are, as I'm going through, listening to the show and going through this. So apparently there's some society of Feinbaum callers, and Legend seems to be their leader, and he gets to decide who gets the black hat and who doesn't. And this sounds to me like old school trying to say that he didn't make the cut this time, but he believes in the democratic process.
Yeah,
just big down in Alabama.
Democratic process.
They're gerrymandering a little bit to make it easier for old school to do it.
A quick search from 2024 in the Feinbaum caller bracket, Black Hat region voting. Dwayne in New Orleans got 64% of the vote over Vance in Georgia.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, I like how they specify New Orleans, but Georgia is just Georgia.
Would you say it?
A legend nominated me. I got voted down. I'll try hard next year. I believe in the democratic process. And the other thing, Paul, I've heard this morning, I don't know if you know about this, but they're trying to put artificial intelligence, they're doing it in these teddy bears for our young children. I don't know what it's about, but...
Yeah, there's this Teddy Ruxpin fella, and he moving like a human. And I'll tell you what, if you can't bang it, then I'm living on the moon.
They're doing it in these teddy bears for our young children.
I mean, you want me to give my child something that I can so easily have sex with?
I don't know what it's about.
I mean, they got this thing, it's telling me it loves me. I mean, that's gay as hell. They're trying to turn our kids, Paul. They got a male doll telling me to hug him and that he loves me.
They're doing it in these teddy bears for our young children.
They're putting AI in the teddy bears. This is his concern. By the way, you're going to lose your job to AI, buddy. So,
won't be long now.
No, you won't be cold calling from your trailer anymore. They'll have a computer for that.
And the other thing, Paul, I've heard this morning, I don't know if you know about this, but they're trying to put artificial intelligence, they're doing it in these teddy bears for our young children. I don't know what it's about, but that's all I got, brother. I land my plane. Take care. Everybody, God bless. See you later.
Does old school realize that Legend gave him a black hat, and then the executive committee led by Squirrel pulled it back? I don't think old school quite understands that his hand was on the black hat and it got snatched away.
I mean, this is like the Skull and Bones. I mean, this is really
good for Paul for keeping it all straight.
I mean, this is like that group of billionaires that gets together on that island and really gets some ideas.
Congratulations to Squirrel for getting head of that committee. That's a big position to have.
Wow. Well, it sounds like there was a bit of he usurped some leadership. It sounds like there was a bit of a coup d'etat if Squirrel was able to do that.
What you think?
Paul, you know they're putting AI in some very sexy teddy bears. Now, they don't come with lingerie, but I'll be darned if you can't find some to fit it.
Hey, Paul.
Paul, this teddy bear telling me to go through the hamper. I don't know why.
I don't know what it's about.
At least he's got his. He's all about AI. He knows the dangers.
The AI in the teddy bears. Yeah.
That they're putting in the teddy bears for our children, to protect our children. This guy.
That's all I got, brother.
This guy knows what the children should have. This fella, who's concerned about a black hat from being a Paul Feinbaum show, he knows what the children should have. Not just his children, but your children. He knows best. Believe me, he'll tell you.
Thanks for taking my call, my black hat, brother.
Yeah. All right. So they've got a little club they're doing. They're building a boat, you know. They're going to go find treasure. Legend has him come over because his dad had some extra wood from when he built the tool shed.
But first, they're going to put on a show. They're going to hang some sheets in the background for a curtain.
Exactly. Now, Darla hasn't committed yet, but the rest of the gang has. If you don't know, they're going to debut their new musical, vaudevillian in nature, but you'll like it. This kid can't keep his hair from sticking up. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. What a disaster for Bill Belichick, and what a pleasing one. We have a journalist who knows all about it. We will talk about it in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and
Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
A great win for the Red Sox last night. They got 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to snap a 7-7 tie. They beat Cleveland 11-7 at Fenway Park. Don Rafaela, home run, 4 RBIs. Rafaela, the big star in the win. The Sox will pitch Brennan Bernardino as an opener against the Guardians tonight at Fenway. The bad news is the Sox lost Roman Anthony yesterday evening. He left with a tight left oblique after striking out in the 4th inning. He'll undergo an MRI today. Patriots will be back at practice this afternoon after getting yesterday off. All eyes will be on whether or not Christian Gonzalez is able to practice after he missed over 5 weeks with a hamstring injury. The season opener is Sunday at home against Las Vegas. And the Bruins held their first captain's practice of the summer yesterday without a captain. David Pastrnak is rumored to be the favorite to replace Brad Marchand in that role, but he ducked the question.
The leadership in this organization is not one guy, and it's been always a group decision, group of leaders, and we have a bunch of new guys and some experienced guys and guys that been in the league for a while. So obviously that leadership group, is gonna play itself in time.
Charlie McAvoy was also among those present for the skate. The preseason, believe it or not, begins 2 weeks from Sunday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the McGovern Automotive Group. McGovern and 98.5 The Sports Hub are giving away a brand new Ford F-150. For more info on how to enter, follow 98.5 The Sports Hub and McGovern Auto Group on Instagram. Complete rules and details at 985thesportshub.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com. What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
That was a great environment. It was great fun to see him lose, and I will read one email before we get to our wonderful guest. I don't mean to make her wait, but I will read this. It is from Mike. It says, so much anger in your voice when talking about Belichick. It's as if he's wronged you in some way. Did he bang your wife or something? The obsession is clearly, well, I'm not married. So there. So anything that my ex-wife did would be of her own accord. Mm-hmm. And I wish her nothing but the best in freedom wherever she find it.
That's very nice.
Thank you. The obsession is clearly because you had to suffer for many years as a bitter Jet fan, and this is the only way you can win because we all know the Jets never will. Little sad maybe when you aren't obsessing about him. The show is great. I get the interest in the relationship, but you've taken it to another level. Only an angry person would focus him on the way you have. Therapy might help. Well, that is true. Therapy very well might help. But the reason I am so focused on it is he's a dick. He's a bully, and he's a dick. And he's a dick to the lowest employees in that building. And he was a prick to the media, and he was a prick to everyone else. He didn't ever take accountability for anything. And he's a fool outside of football. He presented himself as this genius that was above everyone and mocked those who dare question him, when it turns out now, from everyone we've talked to, from everyone I've talked to, he's a walking idiot that just happened to have a father who was a football coach. I mean, he grew up watching film. He was interested in it, and he's good at breaking down film. But outside of that, the only thing he's good at is giving millions of dollars to women that he slept with. Get that all out so I don't have to give it to you. All right. In no way was any of that associated with Shelby. That was my own opinion. All right, so here we go. So the atmosphere around that game, no doubt, was huge. Like the luminaries in attendance, all of that going on. Kind of describe the atmosphere before the game and compare it to past North Carolina football games.
Yeah, well, 100%. Again, thank you for having me on. Just for folks that are not aware, I attended UNC. I grew up in the Chapel Hill, Durham area here in call it the Triangle. So I've, been around UNC football my entire life. And I will say that definitively in terms of a pregame atmosphere, the pregame hype, as you can imagine, completely unprecedented, just what I experienced on Monday. And definitely encourage folks to check out good buddy of mine, Brendan Marks at The Athletic, also a UNC alum. He had a great story kind of describing that and all the fanfare and the scenes, but they have poured a lot of money into creating more of a almost kind of Texas-like, or at least that's the goal, right? Pre-game atmosphere. There's this Modelo Kickoff Club, which is in this big main quad called Polk Place on campus that they packed fans into. There was a pre-game concert free to attend by country star Chase Rice, who formerly played at UNC. And in terms of talking to folks around UNC athletics, particularly Rick Bearcat, who they recently hired as the athletic department's first chief revenue officer, he talked about really wanting to generate a new game day experience for fans. Obviously, that paid off. And as my buddy Brendan quipped, at least the party was fun, right?
Right.
Obviously, a lot of the fanfare and everything just completely dissipated. You had fans in, the more special kind of premium seating, like the blue zone, completely gone by the end of the game. Student section that was jam-packed at the beginning, they're beelining for the exits in the third quarter. So really the atmosphere itself, admittedly, was fantastic pregame, but it's pretty funny when you juxtapose it with, all that buildup and then that performance on the field that we all saw Monday night.
Right. So, like, at the beginning of the game, UNC's, like, probably thinking, this is why we did this. This is why we justified the expenses. This is why he's the highest paid public employee, I believe, in the state. And
That's
then
correct.
How long can that atmosphere last if they don't win? Like, what does he have to do?
Right. And I mean, that's kind of a question I had in some of my reporting going into this, right? So I encourage folks to check it out on the News and Observer website, but I did a pretty big, 2,500 whatever word feature leading into the season about just all the investments that the university has put into North Carolina football, and why is this time different than, let's say, the hiring of a Butch Davis and Mac Brown, et cetera. So I have a lot of numbers and things there. But ultimately, in terms of some of the discussions, I remember having a discussion with athletic director Bubba Cunningham about this. The team has to win for all of this to pay off, and it's just a really kind of depressing scene when, after the game, we're talking to players. And, of course, you guys have probably seen the photos online of the kind of balloon arch that they had behind him. But Max Johnson, for instance, backup quarterback, who he had a tremendous offseason recovery to even be in the position to take over for Gio Lopez in the third quarter. He's saying in the press conference, don't lose hope. That is not a good play set to be after your season opener that you have him.
Jesus. Especially with a 12-team playoff. Like, no hope. All right. Yeah,
Don't lose hope.
You're in the ACC. I mean, it's not that hard. All right, go ahead.
And, yeah, I mean, that exactly. So I know he had that quote, and Caleb Cost, one of the defensive backs, who he actually had a really great interception in the second quarter that folks forgot about, because I think 3 plays later there was that pick six. That being said, though, he was brought out to talk to the media, and he was basically apologizing to fans and saying, we're sorry and that won't happen again. A different level of, I think, desperation showed from the players versus Coach Belichick, which was kind of his gruff self, of course, saying that, the performance was more or less unacceptable and et cetera. But the players were, really just almost remorseful, apologetic for the performance.
Jeez.
And just, again, not a good vibe after the season opener when you have your backup quarterback being rolled out there for post-game press conference, and he's telling fans to not lose hope.
Yeah. Shelby, what do you think the biggest surprise or shock was to the North Carolina people and the fans who thought that this was the answer, that you're looking at a minimum of 8-9 wins now based on the schedule and Belichick and all the things he brought in. Was it the inability to move the ball after that opening drive? Was it the defense that they thought was going to be much better? What do you think shocked people the most?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say a few things. One, I just think the quarterback play. And again, I'm not somebody that likes to rip college players. Obviously, it's a little bit different when, they're getting paid like Gio Lopez is. I think it's been reported about $4 million 2-year contract that he has. I think that was right. So then it's like, okay, I mean,
they're a pro. Yeah.
Well,
they're adults and they're a pro. Right. Yeah.
Right. But anyways, moving on though, that was just a terrible performance from Lopez. Obviously went 4 for 10. Obviously you guys saw that ticker that went up on the broadcast showing that he had not completed a pass for, at one point, I think it was 2 hours and maybe 7 minutes or so of real time.
Yeah.
So you have a, last seen at 8 whatever p.m. Eastern ticker. I mean, that is certainly a shock when, you think about the likes of, Tom Brady, and his name is always associated with Bill Belichick. So that was one thing. I think another thing that really stands out, I don't think it was a shock to me as somebody that had been reporting on the team leading up to this, but maybe a shock more so to fans, was just complete incompetence in the trenches. Something that Belichick and his staff have talked about, the importance of just being tough and winning the game there up front, et cetera, all the coach speak phrases that you hear. TCU's rushing offense, from my understanding, was one of the kind of weakest aspects of that team in 2024. But, as my buddy Shehan at CBS Sports pointed out, I mean, North Carolina had them looking like prime Nebraska. Like, you look at that breakaway run, 75 yards from their running back Barnes, and just kind of put the game away in the third quarter. On the other side, though, average yards per rush for UNC was, I think, 1.8. No Tar Heel player finished with 40 yards rushing or 4 yards per carry. Meanwhile, TCU's racking up 8 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. And I know that Austin Blasky, who's their UNC's starting center, was out for the game, I believe, and it wouldn't shock you guys that we haven't seen any official injury reports, but it's been reported that I think that's a foot issue with him, but he's out. In his place, though, is Christo Kelly, who Bill Belichick brought in from Holy Cross. Again, keep in mind that this was his first recruits in the transfer portal, right? This guy from Holy Cross, and simply put, I mean, there were just issues with snapping the ball. Really, really simple things. I think some of the reasons that Lopez struggled, and I'm not completely blaming the offensive line on this, was just I don't think he had enough time.
Right.
There's so much pressure on him. And then you saw it when he literally got decked in the third quarter and had to go out with that back injury.
Yeah, it like reeks of cronyism, right? Like he gave like his friends and his kids, and I don't think his kids are incapable football coaches. I think that, Steve has proven that he can coach a defense, and Brian's supposed to be really smart. And that's like the vibe. But if you were cynical, and Lombardi's an idiot, and there's no debating it. But if you, my words, not yours. But you could make the argument that like it's like a cronyism, and that like all this money is being funneled to the Belichick family and his like close friends. He's keeping this circle deliberately small, and like in North Carolina is a really good school. The alumni are smart and successful. Like, when did people start going, "Hey, I don't like all that. I don't like them splitting the money like this. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good point there. And simply put, there is, and this isn't the first time that this has happened at UNC or certainly any school like this, but we've reported in the News and Observer that there's been a lot of tension, quite frankly, between athletics and professors on campus. I think it's a bit of just kind of unfortunate timing, unfortunate circumstances, and probably going to get into the weeds of some of this North Carolina governance a little more than y'all are used to maybe on this show. But for reference, right, the UNC Board of Trustees, they held a meeting here July 30th with campus leaders announcing about $70 million in proposed cuts. That's about 2% of the university's operating budget. Obviously, there's federal funding reductions. The state recently failed to pass a full budget bill. And that's not something that's happening just at UNC. You know, there's education cuts nationwide, right? But I think that a lot of professors see that. And then the timing of, you know, $10 million to a football coach annually, not including all the money spent on renovating the stadium, the money spent on supporting staff. I mean, heck, I was able to public records request for this and found out they're spending about $150,000 on a virtual reality quarterback training system. So you see that. And if you're a professor who, let's say you haven't been able to round out the faculty in your psych department, I'm just throwing that out as an example, that does not vibe well, right?
Right. And if you're going to spend that kind of money on the athletic program, the idea is that they're going to generate income that will ultimately help the university. And right now, nothing looks like it's working. And I'd be bitter if I was a professor, and I'd be bitter if I was a taxpayer. I'd say, you know, like I've seen, you know, programs like Alabama, the success of their sports teams brings kids in from the north and, like, you know, generates money for that institution. But if you're going to come in here and you're going to hire all your friends and you're going to keep your circle small and all you're going to do is just lose, we're just burning money. And it will be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm sorry, Shelby, but we're out of time. Shelby Swanson, the News and Observer, she covers UNC athletics. See, not so bad, correct?
No, I had a great time.
All right.
You guys want to have me on later to talk Belichick? Let me know.
All right. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Shelby. Yeah. We appreciate it. There you go. Shelby Swanson was very nervous at first, but you see, I put her at ease.
Loosened her right up.
Well, you put her on edge with your 6-minute monologue about the foibles of Bill Belichick.
I knew I had to get into it hot.
Jordan.
I knew I had to get into it hot.
I don't know if you had to.
I had to. Because we were having a local reporter on that might be reticent to say things of that nature, so I had to come in hot. Then I ease the situation. We get some local flavor in there. It's a game. It's a game. It's a dance. It is. It's 4-dimensional chess. I don't know if you understand.
Well, you know, it's like Belichick.
It really is.
Chess, not checkers.
That's absolutely
4-dimensional chess.
Everyone is. Yes. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Okay, we will. It is Toucher and Hardy. If you want to find our email addresses, and you're not Blind Scott, who is just, it's been a real cavalcade. And then it sucks because I raise so many of his emails, then it feels like I don't get any emails because there'll be like 100 from Blind Scott. And even if I get 20, it seems like nothing in comparison.
Only 7 this morning. Only 7 from what I see.
All right. Be listening at 9:40 this morning for your chance to win Patriots tickets to their home opener this Sunday, as they will be taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. If you want to email us, go to 985thesportshub.com. If you would like to follow us on social media, at Toucher and Hardy on Twitter and Instagram, at Hardy985 on both of those, and at Fred Toucher, where we are we at 25? We're at 25,000 already, right?
You said you had gone through that.
Yeah. The next is 30, which is going to be a tough battle. No one's kidding themselves. I mean, we're going to have to come up with some real viral stuff.
That's when the money really takes off.
Yeah. Like the Costco has been taken by the Costco guys.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. But just like, the Stones and the Beatles had their thing, I'm thinking about going into my own bargain outlet with my kids and putting something together. But instead of a boom, maybe a stomp.
So,
like stomp. I like that. Stomp. Right? Only we eat garbage.
What stores are on the short list right now that you're thinking about? As you said, you can't do Costco.
No, you can't do Costco. And all that kind of retail has been mined so well for them comedically that it all seems like conquered ground. So maybe I'd have to go to like a feed supply store, like get real agricultural with it, try to sell it to middle America. We're gonna kind of give up the coast and just concentrate
Go
on the
hyper
plains.
specialized. How about an AutoZone?
Get in the zone!
I'd just be lost. I am thinking grain, maybe a partnership with John Deere. I got a lot of ideas kicking around, and we go like stomp, right? I think this hay is really good, and like I'm a human, I shouldn't be eating the hay. So there's a freak show aspect to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get where I'm coming from.
You don't necessarily want to marry the action too much with the store. The boom has nothing to do with Costco. You want to be able to take it. If the stomp thing catches on, you want to be able to branch away from Uncle Luke's feed store and do something somewhere else.
Yeah, like Costco guys got famous for eating the chicken bake and the chocolate cookie. See, I'll just be eating like hay and seed. Like I'm a freak. And I'm hoping that catches on. Why not? I'll make my kids do it too, All right.
And yell at them when they do it wrong.
Exactly. Just spend all my time making content.
Blind Scott has only emailed 7 times this morning, but there's great stuff in here. The water bottles that your mother wanted you to take home. He said there were probably not BPA free, and they were probably MAGA water bottles. Either one of those things true?
I don't know what the first thing means. And what would make a water bottle MAGA?
If it said MAGA on it?
No.
All right.
I don't know what BPA means either.
Some kind of a plastic that's bad.
Okay.
How about this? When is, again, from Blind Scott, when is Nick going to start describing the YouTube channel live for the blind listeners, audio blind description?
Oh, that's a good point, Nicholas. I don't know why you're not doing that. You certainly failed at 7. You could have, instead of coming in here and ruining everything, you could have stayed there and done your little voiceover.
And then Joe has a question about the YouTube. What's going on with the banning of people in the YouTube chat? I thought we were standing up for free speech.
No.
Okay.
Well, there was one person that started this months and months ago where it was just getting weird. It was getting very, very strange. But beyond that person, I don't know anyone else that has been kicked off the YouTube chat.
I don't know anything about the YouTube chat.
Well, neither do I.
I don't keep it up.
I don't look at it, and I don't know what Nick does.
You know for a fact, I don't care what Nick does.
Nick
for it.
rules with an iron fist on the YouTube
and
chat.
I don't care about the free speech of it. I don't care about anything about it.
It's always precious when someone tries to say, "Oh, I got banned off such and such a website. My free speech is being violated," as if those two things are connected.
No, you could go
That's
to another
adorable.
website and
Right.
say whatever you want,
Right,
or
exactly.
or email us and complain about
Yeah.
it. But as for what's going on over there, I have no idea. And if Nick wants to ban you, I don't care. How about that? That's the free speech. He's the ruler.
Joe also said, "Did you see Howard Stern pulled his show at the last minute yesterday?" Interesting. We did see that.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. It's kind of crappy to his audience, and then you got national headlines for the first time in a long time.
Is Howard staying or is he not staying?
I'd imagine he's staying. Like, I don't know how putting it off a week would make it
would result in him saying, "I'm done."
right. And this does create interest. I looked into it a little bit, and I'm not joking about this. And this is kind of like where he's at now. Like, I guess this cat of theirs died that they were very close to, and that like maybe like it died on Labor Day or something, and so they didn't want to do. He didn't feel like he could do the show on Monday. I don't know. I don't think Sirius can lose him, and I don't think he wants to go away.
You missed work when your cat almost died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that like I know what's going on? Is that
kitty, pussy, kitty, fluff, fluff, fluff.
That was over the phone.
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking to hear that. Jared says, Freddie Bebe, did you hear about the breaking NBA story involving Steve Ballmer, Kawhi Leonard, and the Clippers? Allegedly, Ballmer may have completely circumvented the CBA by giving Kawhi and his uncle $28 million via a no-show endorsement job, the only requirement of which was that Kawhi remain a Clipper.
You know who broke the
hang
story?
on, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Von Stephenstein.
Sorry.
Huge developing story, the likes of which we haven't seen since the Joe Smith Timberwolves days. And guess who's on ground zero doing the investigative journalism? Pablo freaking Torre. This man is doing some incredible things in sports media. Get this man on the program again. The people need more Toucher Torre contract. Keep the zeitgeist going. That's Jay in Somerville. I love Pablo Torre. I don't want him focusing on this. I want him focusing on Belichick. That's what I want.
Why was he taken on? Why did he decide to move away from that? He was getting great stuff and then took a right turn and went somewhere else.
Maybe the football was embarrassing enough, and so he's pivoted because that's fun to talk about too. It doesn't all have to be about his relationship and how poorly he handles PR.
We'd prefer that it be that.
Well, just his failings in general are all I want. Like, I really don't care what it's about. It really had nothing to do with the girl. It could have been anything dumb. It just happened to be that was a thing. And it got dumber and dumber and dumber.
If he bought a used car that turned out to be a real lemon, yes.
Yeah, right. like anything, like if he opened up a restaurant and it failed, like, and it was corny, like that would be great. Like anything he does that shows how stupid he is great. And she just happens to seem to be awful too. So everything works out great. I mean, but she doesn't want to be famous, but all she wants to be is famous. She doesn't want anyone talking about her, but she wants everyone talking to her. If you don't want anyone talking to her, don't be on the sideline. But that I can't imagine that was during the game. There is this like footage of what is Jordan Hudson before or on the field at some point during the activities Monday evening while they were going on, and she talks to Bill Belichick and walks away. And I can't imagine that was during the game.
I thought it was before.
Yeah, it had to have been before the game. Because even Belichick...
That's when the visits, that's when all that stuff takes place. It's
right.
Because he walked out on the field after he'd spoken to her. Yeah, it had to be before.
Because like even Belichick at this state of complete submission...
Well,
if you're coaching a game and like your girlfriend comes up to you,
what is he forced to do after the game? After that poor showing, does he have to sit in the corner of the bedroom with a dunce cap on?
Well, there's a financial, there's a financial settlement that can be reached.
Just open up that wallet, you big fat dummy.
No, it's not. We've moved long past the wallet. Now it's facial ID, and then
we're transferring of funds. It's a wire transfer.
Yeah, we're moving some money around today. We're paying the extra to get it done today.
Speaking of which, big development has to do with the financial windfall about to happen to this very program and this very segment. An email out of the blue, Sarah from Everett. This came in at 9:23 a.m. I am very interested in sponsoring the email bit. Is there a direct name/number you can forward to me for contact? Thanks, Hardy. Sarah from Everett. I forwarded her, and you can thank me now, Brian, the email address of our sales manager, Brian Schneekloth, so that Sarah can contact him directly about sponsoring the email bit.
You know what I think this is? I think that this is Sarah looking to control the email segment through her sponsorship. She's looking at buying her way in to dictate content. It ain't cheap, Sarah.
We can be bought.
How much do you think to sponsor the email segment?
Adam,
how much to sponsor the email segment if you were to sponsor it for 6 months? In real reality, it would be part of a larger buy.
It'd be part of a larger buy. We're talking in the thousands, right? Yeah, obviously. So,
tens of thousands.
Yeah. I would hope that it would be in the.
Yeah.
I hope we're not talking.
I'm
about
just talking about the one part,
hundreds.
like that one part of it being part of a. Yeah.
Well, it would be. I don't think that you would go like the email thing is like the thing I'm sponsoring. I don't even think they'd sell that to you. I think that they'd want it to be part of a larger buy.
You'd get digital and you get spots and you get the sponsorship with a.
I'm more interested in what the liner would be as Sarah is the sponsor. What is she promoting that she is going to spend the money on a sponsorship on? Is it the dog walking service?
That's what she does.
I mean, you would think that there's only so many dogs you can walk, and then that's as many dogs as there is.
You kind of tapped out. Well, maybe she's looking to expand. She's going to hire other dog walkers.
Mm-hmm. She'd be at the top of a big dog walking pyramid.
Okay. Well, listen, that's up to you. Sarah has been very mean to me, and you were the one who brought her in. You can handle the sponsorship with her as far as I'm concerned. You brought in a tomcat that's just scratching my eyes out, and I didn't know that she was coming with you. You know.
Hi guys.
Sarah never listened to the show until Hardy got here.
That's a good point.
Tex-Mex rolls, extra dipping sauce.
And then I was nothing but nice to her, and then she just kept sending these horrible emails to me, and I finally snapped. And then I'm the dick, according to her. Like, I've been sending you for months awful stuff. And like one day you said something bad about me. That's not fair. No, that's absolutely fair. And I read your emails on the air and had you in studio.
She was delightful.
She was great. I didn't have a problem with her in studio. I was nice to her. I was nice to her off the air. I was nice to her on the air. The only one I wasn't nice to was Nick.
Sarah, what are you willing to spend to sponsor the email bit?
3.141592653388979323846.
Yeah, maybe Pie could just be the sponsor. She's just sponsoring Pie in acknowledgement of it. All right, caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll score a pair of tickets to the Patriots home opener against the Raiders on Sunday at Gillette Stadium. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Red Sox came back from down 7-5 in the sixth inning, and they beat Cleveland 11-7 at Fenway Park. Sox snapped the 7-7.
such an fantastic explosion.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and this is The Stack, is how we end the show. The Baltimore Ravens, the Detroit Lions as a wild card. And now he has Houston out of the playoffs, the Rams out of the playoffs, Tampa Bay. These are just missing the playoffs, and Tampa Bay out of the playoffs. There you go.
Where are the Patriots? Patriots got to be in, right? Patriots absolutely have to be in.
They are not mentioned in said article.
That's too bad.
Yeah, you guys be singing a different tune come Monday. Can't wait.
Yeah, I am looking forward to this. I've never looked forward to a season starting quite like this year. I think because it's of my summer of going to Hoover, Alabama, and Sanford, Florida, that there was no good that came of nice weather. So I am now
embracing the fall.
Yeah, I am really psyched. But my son hasn't started school yet. It doesn't start till tomorrow. But my daughter started yesterday, so her first day of high school is out of the way. She handled it. It is good, and that's done. So, but and usually you get a little wistful or melancholy when the kids go to school. But this year, I desperately need him to go to school. He needs that guy. He needs
his coach.
He needs his coach. His coach just needs to take over, because there's all this stuff that needs to be done, and mental crap that needs to get taken care of, and I just want his coach doing it. And his coach is great and has been reaching out to him all summer, but he's been mine since the beginning of May. We're knocking into pretty good into September here. It's the 3rd. He needs to get back.
4 months. That's enough.
Yeah.
4 months.
And it was all unexpected stuff, and I don't like it. I had to change a bunch of plans. I didn't get to do anything fun, so
got to go to Tennessee.
Yeah, for 4 days. When normally I would have spent 9 days there, but I can't because it was the only week I could go, and I wanted, and she wanted, and they wanted to be there for her mom's birthday. So,
All right. We did not talk about.
You must know.
We didn't talk much about the Bruins practice, captain's practice, but some of the players speaking, including David Pastrnak, was talking about some of his off-season workouts.
I did bike riding a lot since I've done a lot of running for most of my career, playing tennis or just run overall, but don't know if can run that much as I used to, when I was 20 years old. So definitely tried biking in the woods a lot.
I hope he's the captain.
I
need pasta every night.
What's pasta?
Riding the bike in the woods.
Please let him be the captain.
Go for a bike ride in the woods. There you go. Pastrnak and McAvoy, are they the same when it comes to their leadership, David?
We are a little different, but at the same time, kind of same. We've been around some great leaders for the same amount of time. We both grew a lot, so I'm excited. Like I said, seeing Chucky make the growth he did. Not as a player, but as a human being and leadership. So excited for that. But at the same time, it's never been about one guy here.
Yeah,
Chucky.
Usually, this is what happens. Captains' practices before the preseason starts. When Bergeron retired, Marchand would run the practices, and that was the precursor for him getting the C on his sweater. So now everyone was looking yesterday to see who was running the practice. Was it Pastrnak? Was it McAvoy? And, of course, both guys were asked, and neither guy was forthcoming. But it should be Pastrnak, and let's move on.
A bunch of new guys and some experienced guys and guys that been in the league for a while. So obviously that leadership group, is going to play itself in time.
You got it?
No.
Okay.
I don't get any of it. I don't get it. Fred, you want the cold weather to get here? The preseason for the Bruins starts 2 weeks from Sunday.
Well, it's not so much the weather.
Okay.
That if we were in Los
It's the
Angeles,
kid being in school.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't care. It would be nicer if it stayed like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to, I told you why football is important, and I do think I'm right. is that football gives you the ability to do nothing and not leave the house if you so choose on a Sunday and not be a loser and feel like a loser. Like it feels like you're actively doing something.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, the Patriots are on. I like the Patriots. Thereby, this 3 hours is time well spent. Now I watch this. Just to keep myself.
You can
involved in
account
what's
for
going
your
on in the
day
league.
when you say that you watched games that are somehow meaningful to you and other people.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Finally, would you have thought that maybe Pasternak and new Bruins head coach Marco Sturm had like some meetings and had gotten to know each other?
That's what I would do. I mean,
Yeah.
do you remember when Julian was coach and they would have those those recreational things out in the woods?
Oh, those leadership
Do you know about
retreats.
those, Hardy?
Yeah, the team building stuff.
Yeah, they would do
Yeah.
like trust falls and
Yeah.
stuff. It was
Yeah.
always funny hearing Claude Julien, who wanted to be paid in appliances, describe the trust falls and things.
Very briefly here, Pasternak on Marco Sturm.
So far, unfortunately, it was just a phone calls because obviously I was in Europe and just got back here last week and haven't had the chance to meet him eye to eye. So very excited.
Yeah, I mean, he lives somewhere else.
Hasn't actually met the guy.
But in all fairness to both of them, like, what do you like? I'm not being sarcastic. Like, where is he from? He's from the Czech Republic,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I imagine he's in the Czech Republic. Like, what's Sturm going to fly out to the Czech Republic so we can talk to him like 3 weeks early? I'm not going to hold him accountable for that.
You would have thought Pasternak would have been in town at least once during
Last summer he was in town. He was playing bocce ball all over the place, loaded as hell, just playing bocce ball the day away. But I told you, he looked heavy. He had a great year, so it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe this year he's decided not to spend so much time here. I mean, you can skate in Czech Republic's got a ton of hockey players from there. I'm sure there's a million rinks.
He and Yager together.
The Yager, yeah. We go out, we put the weights on our waist, and we thrust. And then it's all for not the in, but more the out. Not me.
I like metal.
Uh-oh. No kid. Not mine. I can prove. All right, very good. That'll do it for us. Everyone, it's Wednesday on the account of the holiday.
That
So
feels
you put
good. I like that.
put the trash out tonight, if you're me.
Not me. 2 months, no trash.
Oh, boy.
Good for
Over 2 months now.
Oh,
Still no trash.
Taking it over yourself, are you?
No recycling, yeah.
That's no good. All right, that'll do it for us. Bye.